There are no objections. I put the motion.
ANC objects.
Next. Yes, honorable member.
Ngibonge sihlalo. Njenge EFF besingajabula maningake kukhulunywe ngalezi zindlu. Okay. Besingajabula maninga abangela abantu abanemizi abashonelwa abakhonyana abaphephile intandane nabazukulu yebo nami ngashonelwa umkhonyana abanye abanamali yokubuyisela imizi emagameni abo lento yama transfersion ukuthi umuzi makadubiza ubaba ubuyele kuma wakho njengalento amatayitela ukuthi makade libiza ubaba libuyele kuma ngale kokuhlukumezeka sicela futhi kuvulwe ama-ofisi lawa ayikade ekhona njengakomashi lawa ayibizwa ngokuthi awonsumpa la sasithelela khona amanzi ukuthi avule asebenze kuphinde futhi kucatshangelwe nokuthi kuvulwe lama college ayevuliwe ade sebenza kuqala njengoNtuzuma oqeqesha othisha uNtuzuma Manzi Mtoti Mbumbulu gama lakhe Eshowe nakagqikazi ngoba lawo makholisha ayesiza ngoba andisa imisebenzi baningi abantu ababesebenza baningi abantu ababeqeqeshwa manje njoba sikhuluma nje abantu abasakwazi baqede ezikoleni abanazi imali zokuhlala ngaphandle ngiyabonga.
If there are no objections, I put the motion.
ANC objects.
Motion falls away. Yes, honorable member. Yes, honorable member. Okay. Yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to raise a motion without notice that the House congratulate President Zuma for being exonerated on the accountability on the Nkandla Gate scandal as per the findings published on the ATC. I so move. Thank you.
That's not put before the House. Yes, honorable member.
Objects.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I rise on behalf of economic freedom fighters without notice that the House notes the expert opinion by Mr. Jason Eli of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime that only 1 in 18 people who uses drugs in Africa seek treatment, opposed to the world average scale of 1 in 6. Acknowledge that the use of drugs has become a challenge in our communities, breeding more. Note that rehabilitation centers are mostly expensive for the poor to seek help from. Therefore, the continuity of the addiction prevails. Acknowledge the dependency on illegal drugs has increased in the last 10 years. Encourage the Department of Social Development to derive a strategy to tackle these people by proactively assisting communities in distress. I so move.
I put the motion. If there are no objections, I put the motion.
ANC objects.
Yes, honorable member at the back. Honorable member at the back.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I move on behalf of the National Freedom Party that this House notes that the chaos between the Democratic Alliance and the EFF is gaining momentum in the House. Realizing that Honorable Musi Mayamane has become the weakest leader of the DA, recognizing that even Lindiwe Mazibuko, who was declared by Honorable Premier Zille as being weak and could not have been where she was without her.
Deputy Speaker.
Conclude that, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker.
That
Honorable member.
Thank you.
You have to wait before you speak. So I thought that let's allow the member to finish. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Deputy Speaker. The honorable member is cutting aspersions on the member, and he himself is a branch chairperson of Cape Town ANC, and we have never said anything about that.
So what's the point of order about that?
That's a point of order.
Deputy Speaker.
Yes, honorable member.
Deputy Speaker, on a point of order, the member who's just moved that motion is impugning the dignity of another member of this House.
No,
and I would ask that he's asked to withdraw that statement. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I said, and I repeat, realizing that Honorable Musi Mayamane has become the weakest leader of the DA, recognizing that even Lindiwe Mazibuko, who was declared by Honorable Premier Zille as being weak and could not have been where she was without her. Conclude, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, on a point of order, you are now allowing the honourable member to repeat in the House the very motion which I've asked you to make a ruling on that is casting aspersions on the dignity of a member of this House.
Honourable member,
you rather make a ruling rather than allowing to repeat his transgression.
Honourable member, what's the difference between a political comment and an improper comment on the dignity of a member?
Sorry, Deputy Speaker, you made a ruling earlier regarding the conduct of the President.
Yes.
Now, if I stood up and said that President Zuma is the weakest president this nation's ever had, and that he wouldn't be in office if it wasn't for Shabir Sheikh and the Guptas, you would rule it out of order.
Honourable members, do not be selective in your application of the rules. Not be selective. Next, honourable members.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I'm not finished.
Honourable member, honourable member.
Let me withdraw that, Honourable Speaker. If that was offensive, then I will withdraw that on Honourable Mayamane. But let me complete my aspect, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Deputy Speaker, the chaos created in the House between the Democratic Alliance and the EFF for the purposes of grandstanding and publicity, Honourable Speaker, is degenerating this House, Honourable Speaker. I so move. Thank you.
There are no objections. I put the motion. There's objection. The motion falls away. Yes. Yes, honourable member.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. The EFF rises to move without motion that the House congratulate the school children of Engudwini in KZN who swim a dangerous river across to acquire education, while President Zuma has a swimming pool as a security upgrade. I so move.
We don't put that to the House, honourable members. The honourable members, we have made a ruling. You are consistently doing the same thing. When you next do it, it will be in contempt of the House.
Point of order, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
On what are you rising on, honourable member?
Honourable Speaker, this honourable member that is seated next to me has come here and called me a twat. And he says, Honorable, that I should be sitting on that side only because, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the DA wants you to tell the House what they want you to tell you. So when you disagree with them, that is what the point is. I would like you to ask him,
On a point of order,
Honorable Deputy Speaker, can you ask him to withdraw those remarks and apologize, Honorable Deputy Speaker?
Honorable member referred to. Go to your mic. Yes, sir. Withdraw those remarks, sir.
Chairperson, which remark was that?
No, you heard him. He said it next to you. You withdraw those remarks.
Chairperson, if I said something objectionable, as the honourable member said to my leader, if I said something objectionable, then I withdraw it.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, that was not an unconditional withdrawal. I want an unconditional withdrawal. The honourable member knows exactly what he has said, Honourable Deputy Speaker. So tell him not to mince his words.
Deputy Speaker, may I address you, please? Please, may I address you, Deputy Speaker?
Honourable Chief Whip of the opposition.
Deputy Speaker,
Yes.
we're in a difficult situation here because it's a case of a he said, she said situation. There's no Hansard for you to refer to. But in addition, the Honourable Madam has withdrawn, and I would ask you to accept that.
Honourable Chief Whip, when it suits you, you want me to make an immediate ruling. When it suits you. Now, in this case, he has not objected to that. So why do you raise what you are raising? Honourable member, on your feet, please, and withdraw unconditionally.
Chairperson, I will withdraw unconditionally.
Yes.
I will
No
withdraw
buts, please. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, honourable member.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. EFF rises without notice that the House notes the grandstanding of the NFP and how it sucks up to the ANC at every given opportunity, with the hope that one of them shall be awarded another Deputy President post.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker. May I address you, Deputy Speaker?
Yes, honourable member.
Deputy Speaker, I would like you to use the rules in terms of the powers that you have as the presiding officers. We have been subjected to a number of things that are happening here, and I think our tolerance level is really pushed too far. Secondly, Deputy Speaker, I would like us to have a decision. We can't continue to have these motions unlimitedly. The rules, please ask for a decision of the House. We can decide. We can't be told by a minority to sit here and listen to their frivolous statements. We request a decision by the House if we should proceed with these motions, because really it's unbecoming. They are not intending to do anything. They are standing, writing on small papers, responding to each other. And it's not in the best interest of South Africans. It's not in the best interest of us sitting here. We are demeaning ourselves, and I think we are stopping to becoming honourable members. I request that you make a decision, Deputy Speaker, whether what is happening here today in the House, it's really defining us as members of the House to be honourable members. Secondly, as well, ask the House to take a decision whether we want to proceed in the manner that we are.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, nothing that this side of the House has done today is ultra vires of the rule, unlike the stunt that was tried earlier. And I would submit to you that it would be out of order for this House to take such a decision, because essentially it would impugn and impede the opposition's ability to do what we are entitled to in terms of the rules. And I would submit that the honourable member should go and look up the word democracy and parliamentary democracy to have an understanding about it.
Honourable members, I would like to read to you from a report of the Rules Committee submitted to this House by the Speaker. of the rules and their guidelines that were adopted by the whips. Number 5 of that report says that to facilitate the unanimous concurrence required, members or parties must submit to procedural staff before noon on the particular sitting day all motions they intend to move without notice. 7 says motions that have not been submitted to circulation may not be read in the House. Now, honorable members, if this is what you agreed to, I'm suggesting that we've long crossed the boundary of reasonableness. In fact, it's not even reasonableness. It's acting outside of the rules. Now, I think that what you then introduce in our practices is that you create a situation in which these rules do not matter anymore. And so I suggest that, Honorable Member, Chief Whip, I don't expect that of you, really, and especially because you're insisting on us following these rules. So on the basis of that, I suggest that because these have not been circulated anymore, we've allowed those that were done literally on the hoof, and so we can't do that anymore. So for that reason, we now move to member statements.
It's one.
ANC.
ANC, on the 8th of November 2014, the President of the country, Mr. J.G. Zuma, was at Umsinga in KwaZulu-Natal to launch 3 rural development projects, including the salt turning of the bridge. This bridge is to connect the Mashunga and Ngubo communities. This will assist these communities in accessing mostly the education and health facilities. It will also help in improving the local businesses. It will be easier for those communities to transport their products like fruits and vegetables to nearby towns, and that will increase their market. The community will also save a lot on public transport, since that bridge will shorten the route that they had to travel between the mentioned areas. The President also refurbished a 100-year-old irrigation system and an animal sale yard. The ANC continues to change the lives of the people for the better. Nokuthi nalaba bathi balinde ukubusa bayohlala belindile kuyoze kubuya uJesu. I thank you.
Democratic Alliance.
Thank you. The Minister for Cocteau would like this House to believe that local government is not as bad as we all know it is. Let me tell him about the fell state that is Mpofana municipality. A spectacularly unsuccessful councillor was appointed mayor in 2011. In no time, massive electricity increases, totally unapproved by NERSA, caused local businesses to close their doors. More unemployment, less investment, no hope. Service delivery protests soon led to open violence and 3 deaths after the mayors of Mgeni and Mpofana and the brother of the previous mayor vetted the applicants for the Springgrove Dam project, ensuring that only the party faithful were employed. The Bruntville Housing Project ended up supplying houses not just to the poor, but all too often to the politically well-connected, judging by their luxury cars parked outside. The local Mpofana MPAC said nothing, but then again, every member of MPAC in Mpofana is ANC. Eventually, after economic collapse, nepotism, corruption, and infighting, the MEC dissolved the entire council, brought to its knees by the ANC. Is this a good story to tell? And yet, the ANC has learned nothing. Just the day before he was killed, lone Mpofana DA councillor Ken Dennishin wrote to the municipal manager after identifying municipal employees openly campaigning in ANC T-shirts during working hours in Bruntville. Nothing has changed. The Witness editorial concluded by saying that every town and city needs a Ken Dennishin. Respect his memory, Minister. End the shame now.
Economic Freedom Front. Freedom Fighters.
It's Economic Freedom Fighters, not Front. Thank you. the latest media reports that the Eastern Cape spent almost $500 million in the 2013-2014 financial year on travel and accommodation is indeed disturbing and spitting in the face of the poor people of that province. Eastern Cape province is one of the poorest provinces in the country, and yet public funds are misused in this manner. We also know that the Eastern Cape province is characterized by a whole range of challenges, including lack of infrastructure, like schools, hospitals, roads, etc. That is an estimated 500 mud schools in the province and huge infrastructure backlog. This is the province which had to be taken to court to pay teachers, and yet public funds are being grossly abused and misused by officials. It is reported that the province's travel amount is nearly a quarter of the money spent by all 9 provinces. The Eastern Cape case is a reflection of the character of the ANC government. Misuse of public funds is rampant, and it is indeed the order of the day. How my daughter, love, cool.
The African National Congress, ANC.
Thank you, House Chair. Different countries in the world, including South Africa, have long realized the value of tourism as a labor-intensive industry and thus enacted legislations and policies to harness its immense potential in contributing towards gross domestic product and job creation. However, there has been a disjuncture in the teaching of tourism at tertiary institutions as a discipline on its own. Many universities, except a few, enroll tourism students under the field of geography, thus shifting the focus from tourism as an economic subject and only paid more attention to the spatial aspect of the discipline. Consequently, there has been a mismatch in the skills acumen of tourism graduates in relation to the job market. The private sector has therefore been compelled to reskill tourism graduates to make them relevant to the field of work. This resulted in the tourism sector relying more on our neighboring countries to fill the skills gap in the industry. The Envisaged Tourism Curriculum Review is thus awaiting. We are thus awaiting it in eager and anticipation to ensure that the youth benefit optimally from tourism. The appropriate training of the youth in tourism will also ensure that tourism sector contributes substantially to the 11 million jobs that we are anticipating in the National Development Plan.
Member, your time is up. Nkandla Freedom Party.
Thank you, Chairperson. Every South African, including us in this House, should be proud of the fact that we boast of our own national airline carrier. Sadly, however, this is not the case for many South Africans. We cannot wallow in pride. The poor state of management and continuous need for government bailouts at SAA leave us greatly disillusioned about the ability of state-owned enterprises to manage such strategic assets. SAA should be flying high, but now appears to be coming in for yet another crash landing. Board members of the airline have been removed. The chief executive, Monwabisi Kalawa, has either been suspended or put on so-called special leave, but again with no reasons given, and the airline continues to flounder. The Minister of Public Enterprises seems helpless to effect any positive change at the airline. Is this because there are other higher authoritative forces at play at SAA, forces that reward loyalty above skill and competency? Honourable Chairperson, an urgent investigation into what is going on is required, even if it means setting up a judicial commission of inquiry. We would like to see this failing airline turned around, managed competently, and reinstalled as a premier airline carrier in South Africa. We hope this government shares our vision. I thank you.
Freedom Front Plus.
Geachte voorzitter, wanneer iemand in die moeilijkheid komt of een probleem heeft, is die natuurlijke ding om die politie te skakel om jou te kom help of bij te staan. Maar dit kan niet meer gedoen word nie, want volgens die onafhanklike polisie ondersoekdirektoraat het die aantal klagtes van verkrachtings wat deur polisielede gepleeg is in 6 maande van April tot September 2014 teenoor dieselfde tydperk in 2013 met 25% toegeneem. En verkrachting van persone in aanhouding het met 160% toegeneem. Die onafhanklike klagtedirektoraat het hierdie statistiek bekend gemaak in 'n voorlegging aan die portefeuljekomitee aan die parlement. Wat meer kommerwekkend is dat die aantal verkrachtings deur polisielede wat op diens is, terwyl hulle in diens van die polisie is, met 56% toegeneem. In die geval van mense in polisieaanhouding wat verkragt is deur polisielede wat op diens is, was die toename 350%. Dit beteken dat hierdie verkrachters dink hulle is verhewe bo die reg, bloot omdat hulle polisielede is en misbruik hulle gesag wat hulle toegeken word. Geen wonder dat die polisie geen vertroue meer geniet nie.
ANC.
The South African government in the last 2 years received scholarship from the Russian Federation for students in South Africa to study in Russia. In September, 13 students left for Russian Federation to join the already studying students who are 15 in Russia. The specialties are as follows: nuclear physics, medical biochemistry, medical and surgery, pharmacy, applied mathematics, technology, applied informatics, and chemical technology. We thank the Federation of Russia for the contribution made to grow our economy and for all the contribution they made in our liberation struggle. Thanks.
APC.
Thank you, Chairperson. The APC is concerned and condemns the reported burning of a municipal building in the municipality of Thaba Tshweu in Mpumalanga. In itself, the destruction of any public property is of concern and must be condemned. What is worrying in the circumstance of this particular case is the fact that the police have so far pointed a finger of accusation on the employees of the municipality. And this has happened shortly after a visit by the public protector in an investigation of complaints about service delivery and maladministration in that municipality. This municipality has continuously been in the news for all the wrong reasons. A point does need to be made, which is a call on the police to leave no turn unstoned or no stone unturned in investigating this matter, and hope that COCTA, with his program of Back to the Basics, will instill the necessary work ethics to ensure that civil servants do their work as expected. We make a call on the public servants in that municipality and in all local governments to shun corruption and maladministration and to work tirelessly in the best interests of the people, now and always. Thank you.
African National Congress. ANC.
Ngiyabonga, House Chairperson. We, the people of this amazing country, would like to extend our greatest gratitude to the African National Congress for our policies and programs which saw the handing over of Phase 2 Nsami Waterworks to the community of Guyani on the 30th October 2014. Guyani has been experiencing water shortages since the dawn of democracy. This water scheme will increase the capacity of Nsami Purification Plant from 18 megalitres to 36 megalitres per day and would cover 93 villages in Guyani. This additional capacity will go a long way towards alleviating the water shortages in those communities and improve their lives. This is indeed a commitment which the ANC made during the election campaign to move South Africa forward. The community of Guyani is highly delighted with this development, which has addressed this historical problem of water. We urge the department to continue doing the good work for the people of Guyana, to continually do the good work for the people of South Africa and make their lives better. This is indeed a good story to tell. Ngiyabonga.
Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Chairperson. The Tshwane Metro Police today made an urgent application in the High Court in Pretoria to block the occupation of municipal land in Almapius east of Pretoria. Large groups of people converged in Almapius on Wednesday demanding they be given free land to build their houses, and when violence erupted, police fired rubber bullets to disperse the crowds. The residents retaliated by throwing stones at the Metro Police. With the vocal support of the local EFF branch, Malemaville, as it has become commonly known, has become a test case for the implementation and rollout of EFF policies and practices, chaos, violence, and the breakdown of the rule of law and the Constitution. Moreover, Madam Speaker, this is a golden opportunity for Minister Sisulu to demonstrate that the Luandle Ministerial Board of Inquiry was not merely a 4 million rand public-funded political hit squad with marching orders to assassinate the character, reputation, and good work of the DA-led City of Cape Town and Western Cape Provincial Government. Unfortunately, instead of rushing to announce the inquiry into Malemaville or gazette any terms of reference, the Minister is in the House today to push through the Nkandla whitewash. The President's private home is clearly more important than the home for people of Nalmapius. Why is the plight of the people of Nalmapius being ignored by the Minister? Is it because her ANC friends run the city of Tshwane? Or is it because the people of Nalmapius are 1,500 kilometers away from the DA-led city of Cape Town? Your move, Minister.
African National Congress, the ANC.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. It can not ever be acceptable to camouflage chauvinism and discrimination against women under the guise of questioning competency in an area of political manipulation for cheap political point scoring. Forward with women of South Africa, and down with women followers in parties with oppressive policies that do not empower women, such as DA, EFF, and the rest. Honorable Chairperson, as we approach the launch of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, we recall...
Can you please take a seat? Yes.
Madam House Chair, what the Honourable Member is saying is misleading the House. The DA does not have oppressive policies that do that. And in fact, our leader is a woman, unlike her organisation.
Honourable Member, I'll come back to you on that one. You can continue, Honourable Member.
Thank you, House Chairperson. As we approach the launch of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, we recall the United Nations Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women that stipulates that governments should develop penal, civil, labor, and administrative sanctions in domestic legislation to punish and redress the wrongs caused to women who are subject to violence. Women who are subjected to violence should be provided with access to mechanisms to justice, and as to provide for national legislation to just and effective remedies for the harm that they have suffered. States should also inform women of their rights in seeking redress through such mechanism. The 2004 SA report on violence against women indicated significant progress made in amendment of existing legislation and promulgation of new legislation relating to violence against women and children in South Africa.
Honourable Member, your time is up.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. Are we winning the battle against gender-based violence?
Thank you, Honourable Chair. The future of this country is hanging in balance. Political decay and moral bankruptcy has become the order of the day. Survival through political connections has become the order of the day. Talents and hard work are no longer necessary to succeed. You must be corrupt, dishonest, and have friends in the higher places in order to succeed. Indeed, this reduces our democratic dispensation and our government into a tool of those in power to enrich themselves. The spirit of selflessness and sacrifice has been replaced by hypocrites, dark souls, selfish interest, manipulators, and total blindness to the suffering of the poor. Agam believes that the leadership, we must change immediately this leadership so that the masses mustn't rise up and make this country ungovernable.
African National Congress, the ANC.
Motlhomphegi, tša maphelo mo Afrika Borwa di thoma go tloga go tlhokomelego ya motheo yeo e tlwaelegilego ye e tšwago go mmušo go ya go ditirelo tša maphelo tšeo di ikgethilego tša maemo a godimo go makala a mabedi la setšhaba le la private tša maphelo e dula e le tokelo ya botho e bohlokwa mo Afrika Borwa a taba tše di bose baetena ditsebi di dula di le makomana madula a bapile mafelong ka moka go tsena ka mo nageng gore ba kgone go lekola twatši ye ya ibola batlankedi bao ba ka bago 270 mafelong ka moka a go tsena ka mo nageng a senyane ao go le go kotsi e kgolo kudu go bile gore ba ile ba hlahlwa gore ba kgone go sobana le bolwetse bjo ge bo ka phulega mola bolwetse bja ibola bo phulega go kua seleteng sa bodikela bja Afrika ka Matšhe bo bolaile batho bao ba ka bago 5,000 go fihla le kgono sehlongwa sa bosetšhaba sa malwetse a go fetela ka mašakaneng NICD se laeditše gore go etelana kudu ga dinaga tša borwa le bodikela bja Afrika go dira go dikgonagalo tša go phulega ga ibola ka mono Afrika Borwa e be tše ntši eupša le ka go le bjalo di sa le tše nnyane ke ra kganagalo tšeo Afrika Borwa e bona NHI bjalo ka maeteko la go kaonafatša mokgwa wo wa go thuša ka mašeleng tša maphelo le go tliša mokgwa wa tša maphelo wa boleng bja maleba ka malapeng a maAfrika Borwa ka moka taba tše di bosena gomme seo e le go neela maAfrika Borwa ka moka ya leboga
Democratic Alliance.
The Constitution of South Africa compels local sphere of government to supply clean water to every person. The community of Ulundu, Ward 8, Ewele Skodini, Sasechibini in KZN has been trying to local authorities in getting water provision for the past 14 years without any success. These poor communities, including the elderly, sick, not to mention the children who should be concentrating on education and studies, are forced by a situation to try to find water on the dirty streams and rivers in order to be able to survive. After 14 years of desperate attempts by the community, the only thing the municipality is able to provide is a small tank, is a small water tank to last the whole month. This water doesn't even last one day, and the remaining days of the month, the community battles to find water. It is really sad that the community now rely on costs to direct elected council to supply water, essential services to residents when they were elected to do just that. The classic example is the court order compelling Mokopong local municipality to supply water to its community. The community of Ewela feels betrayed by the ANC and NFP-led municipality. The DA calls on Minister of Water Affairs to urgently intervene to restore dignity of Ewela community in Ulundi, Ward 8. Thank you.
The African National Congress, ANC.
Respect in the name of rights and freedom needs must be properly understood. All human rights are indivisible, whether they are civil or political rights, such as the right to life, equality before the law, freedom of expression, economic, social, and cultural rights such as the rights to work, social security, education, and collective rights such as rights to development, self-determination. They are independent, interrelated, and interdependent. If, however, we have to be respected as leaders and respectable people, we need to first respect ourselves and our democracy. I hope what has happened today will never happen again.
Honorable members, this concludes member statement. Honorable Steyensen, I noted the point you raised, point of order, on the statement that was made by honorable member. However, it was not an inference on an individual. It was more in the context of the political party policies, and therefore, I ruled that it wasn't a point of order necessarily. I'm sure when you have an opportunity to debate, you will be able to debate with the honorable member concerned. Are there any ministerial statements? Honorable Deputy Minister.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Siyabonga, Honorable Kekane, siyababongisa nabafundi abahambile baye Russia bayofunda. We remain committed, Honorable Chair, to send students abroad to acquire skills that we are not producing as a country. But I must also say that the government of the Russian Federation has further committed 50 scholarship offers for the 2015 academic year for South African students. As the Department of Higher Education and Training, we appreciate these scholarships and we truly value the opportunities accorded to our young people to help them broaden their knowledge and skills which will enable them to come back and contribute positively to the economy of the country. Thank you very much.
Ngongoshe Unzimande, Wanel Segile. Honorable Sochu.
Ke a leboha motlatsi wa modulasetulo. Ke rata hore ho leloko le hlomphehileng le bua ka bobodu le rape e etsahalang ko di-stationeng tsa mapolesa ebile e etswa ke mapolesa le karolo e etswang ke Independent Police Investigative Directorate. Rona re le mmuso wa African National Congress le ra ba le bonnete ba hore bobodu kapa yona rape whenever mo etsahalang teng ha re kgathale kapa e etswa ke mang na re tla emisa mokgatlo ona re o bitsang gore ke iPad gore sebetsana le yona ho sa tshware le mokgatlo wa pele o bona ba ne ba le busy ke Flag Plus ba sa shebe gore mapolisa a bona ka nako eo ba ba kae batho ba ne ba rapua ke mapolisa. Ke a leboha.
Are there any ministerial statements, Honorable Mokonyane and Honorable Masud?
Thank you very much, Chair. May I take this opportunity to welcome the comments made on Kiani, but to further indicate that within the coming few months, we will be working in partnership with the government of Zimbabwe to make other interventions that are going to provide water relief for Polokwane, Sikukuni, and other surroundings in Limpopo. I thank you.
Honorable Masuta.
Thank you, Chair, and I'd like to, in response to the last statement made by the Honorable Member of the ANC, Honorable Mpumlwana, to indeed acknowledge and support his observation that we are a beautiful democracy in South Africa. We have a beautiful Bill of Rights, thanks to the leadership that our forebears demonstrated, leading us to a peaceful transition from apartheid to the kind of a democracy where there's free expression, free association, and all the rights indeed in our Bill of Rights. But I further agree with you that for full and meaningful enjoyment of these rights, we have to observe the rule of law. And indeed, what has been demonstrated today, like many other days in this House, is far from what our Constitution and Bill of Rights envisaged, which is a society where there's tolerance, free debate, free engagement, and meaningful engagement, not the kind of anarchy which some of the opposition parties demonstrated today. Thank you very much.
We have one slot for ministerial responses. Is there one minister who wants to take that slot? There being none, this concludes ministerial responses. The Secretary will read the first order of the day.
Consideration of report of ad hoc committee on report by the President regarding security upgrades at Nkandla, private residence of the President.
I now recognize Honorable Frolick.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Deputy President, members of the Executive and Honorable members. The ad hoc committee to consider the report by the President regarding the security upgrades at his private residence was established through a resolution of the National Assembly on the 19th of August 2014. The Assembly resolution that established the committee indicated that the committee was to consider the report by the President dated the 14th of August 2014, make recommendations where possible, and exercise those powers as set out in Rule 138 of the Rules of the National Assembly that are necessary to carry out its task. A number of letters of correspondence was also referred to the committee by the Honourable Speaker. A letter dated the 12th of August from the Public Protector to the President, a letter dated 11 September from the President to the Public Protector in response of her letter of the 21st of August, and a letter dated 15 September 2015 from the Public Protector to the President. The Special Chief Whips Forum that was convened and referred to on page 2950 of the report took place on the 4th of September to discuss differences of opinion between the different political parties on the committee in terms of its mandate. An agreement was reached that all the reports and correspondence pertaining to this matter would be referred to the committee and serve as the source documents in front of it. This includes A, the Interministerial Security Cluster Task Team report, the report of the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence on the Interministerial report, and the Public Protector's report entitled Secure in Comfort, as well as the Special Investigation Unit's final report. After a delay of 2 weeks from the time that the committee was supposed to start its work due to differences on its mandate, the committee was finally constituted, where all political parties attended and elected a chairperson on the 9th of September 2014. On the 23rd of October 2014, the Assembly by resolution extended the deadline for the ad hoc committee to report to the 14th of November 2014. The committee subsequently had 8 meetings here in Parliament to deliberate on the reports in a transparent and open manner. Meetings was very well attended by members of the public, including civil society, and members of the media who followed proceedings with immense interest. In the meeting that took place on the 26th of September 2014, members of the committee could not reach agreement on the methodology to follow in performing its mandated task. The key points of deliberation were whether, 1, the findings, recommendations, and remedial actions in the report of the Public Protector were binding and enforceable on other organs of state, and if any person or persons should be invited to present their reports before the committee or to provide oral evidence. The committee could not reach consensus on the issue of the methodology to be followed. At this point, the members of the opposition parties withdrew their participation, and the committee continued its work in line with Assembly Rule 133. The committee then, assisted by technical staff from Parliament, made a thorough assessment of the commonalities and differences in the findings and recommendations of the different reports that served before the committee. In focusing on this issue, the committee also considered the constitutional role of the President, the executive, accounting officers, and officials of the respective departments. All the reports from the different institutions that served before the committee are of the highest integrity and quality and contain detailed information sufficient to have enabled the ad hoc committee to arrive at its own conclusions and recommendations without reviewing any of those reports. There was agreement across the different reports of non-compliance with the legislative framework, supply chain management regulations, treasury regulations, as well as unnecessary cost escalations. The report of the Interministerial Task Team, the Public Protector, and the SIU indicated that costing escalations inflated the project cost in an irregular manner to above 216 million rand. Having read and perused the different investigative reports, there was agreement in the initial meetings of the committee between all the parties who were present that the value of the existing structures and the work that was performed had been grossly inflated and not worth the amount of money that was spent on it. The committee also noted that when the Public Protector submitted his report to the National Assembly in 2004, the National Assembly also established an ad hoc committee to deal with the matters. The committee noted that in processing its work, the ad hoc committee also did not call witnesses to give evidence, but instead considered the contents of the report before it. This was also the case with 2 other reports of previous public protectors. The committee therefore applied the principle of precedence and decided to focus on the content of the investigative reports that served as source documents before it, rather than initiating its own in-depth investigation into the matter. During its deliberations, the ad hoc committee observed the outcome of the High Court of South Africa in the matter between the Democratic Alliance and the South African Broadcasting Corporation, and that it was of relevance to the matter that it was mandated to consider. The judgment of that court stressed the importance of the Office of the Public Protector and also provided clarity with regards to the findings and remedial actions of the Office of the Public Protector. It stated, and I quote, "Powers and functions of the Public Protector are not adjudicative, and that the finding of the Public Protector is not binding on persons of organs of state," close quote, but also that it can simply not be ignored. The committee observed that the legal framework that was relevant in the matter before it consisted of the PFMA, the Ministerial Handbook, and the Cabinet Policy of 2003. The Cabinet Memorandum of 2003 prescribes the steps to be followed in projects of this nature. The PFMA further makes a clear distinction between the function of the political head as well as the accounting officer. The PFMA also states clearly that accounting officers face strict disciplinary sanctions, including dismissals, where they do not adhere to the prescripts of the PFMA. Other members who were part of the deliberations will reflect on some of the issues. In terms of the findings, I wish to highlight the following. Questions were raised in terms of the legislation and regulations that guided the security upgrade of the project. The President, in his report to the Speaker, states that, in paragraph 25, and I quote, "In 2009, I was appointed as President of the Republic. Immediately upon my inauguration, members of the security cluster engaged with me regarding security upgrades and requirements at my homestead, which are commensurate with the head of state of the Republic," close quote. The Public Protector also further comments that there's usually a normative process involved when these type of security upgrades are initiated. The committee thus found that the project to secure the President's private residence was correctly initiated. The President also indicates in the same letter in paragraph 32 that from time to time I receive briefings, both formally and informally, from the various ministers engaged with the security enhancements. Whilst the President may not have requested the upgrades, it is certain that he became aware of them. The Cabinet Memorandum of 2003 is the appropriate policy document that should have guided the process. The National Key Points Act of 1980 is not applicable in this instance. Neither the National Key Point Act or the Cabinet Memorandum requires the residence to be declared a national key point before security upgrades can be effected. The residence was declared a national key point after the project started and was erroneously introduced. It also seems that there was a lack of oversight by certain members of the executive authority who was to ensure the proper departmental coordination and implementation in compliance with the Cabinet Memorandum. From the source documents, it appears as if regular security assessments, as stated in this memorandum, were not performed by the South African Police Services. The committee further found that the private professional team was appointed in an irregular manner, and the ceding by DPW officials of their responsibilities to Makanya and R&G consultants allowed for scope creep, as the Public Protector termed it, and massive irregularities that saw costs soar to in excess of 216 million rand. There was indeed gross negligence on the part of senior officials of the department, and those who have acted outside the legal and regulatory financial framework exposed themselves to the consequences of the PFMA. It appears from the Public Protector's report that the former Minister and Deputy Minister of Public Works were at some stages involved in the implementation of the project. With regards to efforts of the President to investigate allegations of maladministration and wastage, the committee found that on the 5th of October, the Minister of Public Works announced that an investigation into the allegations would take place by a specially convened security cluster task team. This task team would, in all likelihood, have been appointed after consultation with the President. It is inconceivable that a task team of this nature would have been appointed without the President being aware of their appointment. The President also signed the proclamation R359 of 2013 for the SIU to investigate. And also there were different letters and responses. The committee thus found that the suggestion that the President ignored and did not act cannot be substantiated. With regards to whether the President and his dependents benefited unduly as a result of the security upgrades, the committee finds that the Cabinet Memorandum of 2003 clearly outlined the steps that were supposed to be followed. And all reports indicate that these steps were not followed. Upon legal advice, we were advised that at this stage it would be premature for the committee to come to a conclusion of undue enrichment without the matter being attended to by the relevant security experts consistently with the Cabinet Memorandum. The public protector cleared the President of all serious allegations, except that she found that there were, and I quote, non-security related items that were erected or built which the President and his family materially benefited from. The issue of the violation of the code is tantamount to unconstitutional conduct by the President, and it is the respectful view of the committee that the Office of the Public Protector do not have the power to decide on constitutional matters. The following recommendations are highlighted: that the President must ensure the implementation of the measures as outlined in his final report to the Speaker. Within the next 3 months, the report is to be expected. The President should consider whether any members of the executive authority failed to implement the provisions of the Cabinet Memorandum of 2003, either through complacency or negligence in the execution of their duties, and if necessary, take appropriate action. The President should also note the instances where the executive authorities, especially the former Minister and Deputy Minister of Public Works, did not act according to the prescripts of the PFMA, and, if necessary, take appropriate action. The committee also found that the SIU should continue to recover the cost, inflation to the amount of 155 million rand. The committee also recommends that the matter of what constitutes security and non-security upgrades at the residence be referred to Cabinet for determination by the relevant security experts in line with the Cabinet Memorandum of 2003, and must report back to Cabinet in Parliament within 3 months. Finally, Honourable Speaker, a technical team of qualified security experts should assess the serious concerns raised about the current situation at the President's private residence as raised in the SIU report, evaluate those concerns and report back to Cabinet and Parliament within 3 months. Honourable Speaker, I submit this report to the House for consideration, and I thank you.
The Honourable Maimane.
Honourable Speaker, Deputy President, members of this House, Bagaetsho Dumelang. You see, today we stand at the crossroads on a journey towards accountability and constitutional government. You see, the actions of this Parliament over the coming months will determine whether our democratic project has succeeded or whether we've lapsed into a state capture by the ANC. The adoption of the report by the ad hoc committee or the ANC study group on Nkandla is a travesty of parliamentary oversight. Our president has forsaken his constitutional duty, and the ANC report has rubber-stamped his sins. Today, the opposition stands together, united in rejection of this report and its collections of denials, half-truths, and fallacies. Honourable members, today is a tale of two stories or two narratives. There's an ANC story that is set out in the report of the ad hoc committee. It's a narrative that describes how the cost of a legitimate security upgrades to the president's residence escalated due to maladministration by public officials and the principal agent of this project, Mr. Nkandla. This narrative makes no distinction between security and non-security upgrades, and it views the escalations of the cost as an unremarkable systems failure. More importantly, in this narrative, the president neither requested the upgrades nor had any knowledge of their extent. He was merely an unassuming, helpless recipient of a generous gift from the people of South Africa. Shame. The president was an unwilling victim who arrived home to discover that my pool is being extended, that there's lavish expenses at no cost to himself. He did not even question this generosity, but he felt he's obliged to accept it, no questions asked. It was very clear to every South African why this, in fact, assertion is absolute nonsense. But honorable members, there's a second narrative. The second narrative is characterized by a president who willfully misused the power of his office to benefit himself. In this narrative, President Zuma, together with his architect, Mr. Makanya, orchestrated a grand deception to expand the scope of the project while minimizing his personal liability. And so, a swimming pool, a cattle kraal, an amphitheater, a tuck shop, a visitor centers were added to the list of security upgrades, and the cost, therefore, is absorbed by the people of this country. Honorable Speaker, there is absolutely no justification for the public funds being diverted so that the president's cattle can have a better life than the people of South Africa. You see, I have been to Protea South. The people of Protea South will tell you they live on dolomitic land. They can't build. And instead, Public Works decided to take money from the people of Protea South and build the president a palace while they don't even have houses. It's an absolute travesty. President Jacob Zuma is the only one who has a good story to tell in this story. And this, in fact, is the real crime. The president's unwillingness to accept liability for this undue benefit he's received costly upgrades to his project are what lies at the heart of this matter. Yet the members of the ANC committee felt, no, it was fine. Let the truth remain bidely because we are here to protect one person and one person alone, number one. Honorable members, I wish to state it right here that the objectives of the Nkandla ad hoc committee as by the ANC was to exonerate the president. We as the opposition party stand together and hold up this report signed by 7 parties, not the Thuli House, that simply says we reject the findings in this report. Let me tell you why we reject it. We reject it because, in fact, it was an exercise to absolve the president of all responsibilities. I am here to ask you, honorable members, if this particular parliament can't be seen by the people of this country to legitimately deal with the grave issues of Nkandla, what can we ever legitimately deal with? By virtue of his position, number one must be held to the highest standard. As the highest office bearer in this land, the president took an oath to uphold and maintain the Constitution. He stood at the Union buildings with his hand on the Bible, saying he's going to protect and defend the Constitution. And instead, he's allowed a band of supporters in the National Assembly to cheer him on as he flouts at every turn and selectively applies the Constitution. This condescending and dismissive way in which President Zuma...
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Chief Whip.
The honorable member is not allowed to call us a gang of supporters. He knows that.
Honorable Maimane, can you withdraw that, Honorable Maimane?
Oh, it's not a gang, it's supporters. I apologize. The condescending and dismissive way in which President Zuma has dealt with queries surrounding Nkandla is unbecoming of the office of the president. The president has been party to a deception of the grandest scale. Public money was stolen at Nkandla, and now the president cowers in shame, hiding behind the ANC numbers in parliament. It was money that was destined for inner city rejuvenation and Dolomite housing alleviation and job creation. Most abhorrently, it was money stolen from the poor people of this country who struggle every day to get ahead. This, honorable members, is nothing short of an impeachable offense. President Zuma must account. It's not our request, it's his constitutional imperative. Should the president fail to heed this call, we will be left with no choice but to move for his removal from office. He must lead by example. He must either comply with the public protector or we must move to have him impeached. Ladies and gentlemen, I call on you, protect the poor people of this country. Hold President Zuma to account. I thank you very much.
Your time has expired. Honorable Kaula. Honorable members, please give Honorable Kaula an opportunity to speak. Order, honorable members.
Kumangameli. Ikakhulukazi thina njengoba siphuma le ekhaya eKZN. Ake ungitshele ngempela ihlazo lini leli osenzela lona kwaZulu Natal. Ngabe uyabona yini ukuthi uphoxa amakhosi akaZulu Natal kanye neNgonyama uqobo ehola amaZulu wonke. Lento yokuthi ungafika umuntu emzini wakho ambe iziza akhe akhiphe wonke amangwevu emzini wakho awazi lutho nje wena. NgesiZulu bugebengu bonke lobo mawuthi awazi lutho. Wena awazi lutho nje uqobo ngempela ukuthi awukho umthetho kwaZulu Natal angani noma kushoniwe. Akufiki abantu bazokumba igodi bangcwabe umuntu babuza kumuntu oyikhanda lomuzi. Kungani mangameli wakithi kaZulu Natal ophethe iSouth Africa yonke usiphoxa na? Impela sasikuthembile sasicabanga ukuthi uzosikhumbula.
Honorable Speaker.
Besicela ukuthi
Honorable Chief Whip.
Point of order. The honorable member has a right to say anything and everything she likes, but not call the president a criminal. He has not been proven by any court of law as a criminal. Order.
Honorable.
She must withdraw.
Mamukaula. Manqala apha mama ndicela xa kuthetha omnye umuntu uhlale phansi. Yes. Now uChief Whip ukhala ngento ba wena uthe uPresident uyisigebengu. Ngicela ke mama ukhoxise mangabe ukushilo.
Ngiyabonga sihlalo ukuthi mangibheka uShip Wifalo mhlamba kezwanga ngithe mina kaZulu uma uthi into awuyazi kade yenzeke kwakho leyo nto yithatheke ngobugebengu angishongo ukuthi umangameli ubugebengu.
On a point of order, Honorable Speaker. On a point of order.
A point of order yani
musukuzodlala ngolimi ilungu elihloniphekile. Ubiza umongameli
point of order. Honorable Speaker, point of order. What is your point of order?
A point of
what is your point of order?
Honorable members, take your seats. Take your seats. Take your seat, honorable
member. A point of order. Uti umongameli umuntu othi akazi ukuthi kwenzakalani emzini wakhe ubugebengu lobo ubiza umongameli ngesigebengu and lokho akukona nje ukuthi sihlala into engifuna ukuyisho akukona nje ukuthi akuhambisani nemithetho yeParliament iwuchuku futhi lento ayishoyo.
Order, Speaker.
Point of order.
Honorable members, please take your seat. Let me finish on this particular issue. Mama, ngicela uthi hayi uma bedidekile ngendlela engiyibeke ngayo ngiyahoxisa. Uqhubeke nenkulumo yakho mama.
Niyakhumula nathi izulu asitolikwa kodwa la. Okay ke lalela nzima ndibhlungu lento basuka nayo kaZulu yasazi.
Mama uKhawula awuhoxise phela soqhubeka nomsebenzi.
Ngiyaxolisa ke ngiyabonga ke. Ngiyaxolisa.
Honorable members, please allow Mama uKhawula aqede.
Inkinga engiphethe kabuhlungu la. Ihlazo elikhulu. Ukuthi ngempela kusho ukuthi nathi sothi sila eParliament. Siyafika sekwakhiwa izindlu ngalena emuva. Sithi asazi. Kusho ukuthi ngempela ikhona inkinga esafuna ukubhekwa la. Ngoba thina masibona umuntu akhelwe indlu sazi ukuthi uyazi ngoba ngeke yakhiwe indlu ize isayinelwe ungakubona. Okubuhlungu ke emphakathini bakithi kunzima. Abantu basemakhaya even eNkandla uqobo abanazindlu abanamanzi kodwa amanzi agcwele lapha yana emzini kaMangameli kuyabuswa kwenziwa yonke into. Akuyona into esasilwelayo lena thina ukuthi so benefita thina qala kunabantu. Mina umbuzo wami nje uthi ngempela uNembeza washonaphi ngoba mangabe umuntu funeka ngempela ubheke ukuthi mina ngiyadla ngiyasutha kodwa umakhelwane wami akadli ukuthi ngaze ngijabulele mina ukuthi nginayo yonke into kodwa umakhelwane wami abanawo ngisho ezikoleni bayahlupheka. Ngisho ingane sineyintandane sinabafelokazi abalambile. Abantu la eminyango kuyimanje nje kunabantu basahlala emjondolo abahlala emathuneni emjondolo bafaka izindlu. Abanayo indawo zokuhlala, abanamanzi, abanamaclinic. Besicela ukuthi kulo 20 years ngempela kanti bekwenzekani kusho njengoba sasizabalazela ukuthi umuntu ayilungise ayidlele yena na njengabantu ngangizabalaza nawe njengabantu bakaZulu besicela bakithi uMangameli angasiphoxi. Siyamcela ukuthi ngempela kakhumbule abantu ngoba lento asiboni ukulungiswa.
Siyabonga mama isikhathi sesiphelele. Honorable Singh.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on 26 September this year,
Order, honorable members.
I need some injury time. Making too much noise.
Honorable members, allow Honorable Singh to speak.
Madam Honorable Speaker, 15 seconds of my time has gone because I couldn't even hear myself. Honorable Speaker, on 26 September, the IFP withdrew from the ad hoc committee on Nkandla because the ANC majority had deliberately crippled the committee's work. Turning a blind eye to Rule 138, they refused to call the authors of the relevant reports to appear before the committee and refused to seek legal opinion on the powers of the public protector. An impasse was created which could only be resolved with the direct intervention of the President. Our nation rightly looks to its head of state to uphold, defend, and respect the Constitution, and to promote the unity of our nation and all that which will advance the Republic. In time of crisis, when our Constitution is under threat, these fundamental responsibilities are amplified. Honourable Speaker, in the interest of South Africa, our constitutional democracy, and settling this matter, the President should have intervened. He should have provided a mandate to his colleagues on the committee to empower the committee's work by inter alia allowing the President to answer our questions. The President should have answered all outstanding questions from the reports of the Public Protector and the Special Investigations Unit. He should have complied with the remedial action prescribed by the Public Protector, and he should have reported to the National Assembly on all actions taken in this regard. And as uppermost guardian of the Constitution, the President himself should have approached the Constitutional Court for a declaratory order giving legal certainty on the Public Protector's powers. But sadly, Honourable Speaker, he did none of this. The Majority Party report now selectively quotes from Justice Schipper's judgment in the Western Cape High Court, but conveniently ignores his emphatic statement that findings and remedial action of the Public Protector are not, and I quote, mere recommendations which an organ of state may accept or reject. Honourable Speaker, the IFP rejects this report as predetermined, politically biased, and embarrassingly deceptive. Not once does it admit to non-security upgrades: the swimming pool, the tuck shop, the amphitheatre, the cattle kraal, and the chicken coop. But, Honourable Speaker, the chickens have not yet come home to roost. New facts are likely to emerge from Mr. Nkandla Makanya's court case and from the disciplinary hearings. Not surprisingly, rumours already abound that charges against the officials will be dropped, presumably so they won't spill the beans. The ANC has closed this matter in the worst possible way. Nkandla is now a permanent stain on the presidency and the ruling party. They have protected one man, but opened a wound in our nation that will bleed forever. There is no doubt, Honourable Speaker, that more discussion and debate outside of this parliamentary precinct will continue on this very topic. In theatrical terms, it is never over until the fat lady sings. The country waits with bated breath, even until the cows come home in the 1.2 million kraal, to hear the full side of this sad story. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
The Honourable Sheikh Imam.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Okay, I'm ready to start. Honourable Speaker, it is the duty of the state to ensure the safety and security of the state president, as has been the case with all former state presidents, and we as the National Freedom Party are in support thereof. Honourable Speaker, I'm not sure what is really in question, Your Honourable Speaker. My first point, Honourable Speaker, is there is no doubt that there's been an inflation of prices. There is no doubt that it was grossly inflated to benefit some individuals. Nobody is disputing that. Nobody is disputing that there's been a swimming pool, that there's been a cattle kraal. Nobody is disputing that some of these upgrades may not be part and parcel of the security upgrade as such. So that is not in dispute. What is really in dispute and should be in dispute is the amount of money that has been spent on that upgrade and who duly benefited from it. Now, Honourable Speaker, I had the opportunity of attending the sitting the day prior to the walkout, and I must reiterate that National Freedom Party had not given a mandate to anybody to walk out of this hearing. Very, very clearly. In fact, my understanding, Honorable Speaker, is that the purpose of forming this ad hoc committee was to go and look, and I can remember that we deliberated for 4 and 5 hours in this House to have all
Speaker.
4 reports tabled. These
Speaker.
4 reports that
Honorable
were
Speaker.
supposed to be tabled were supposed to...
Honorable Member, what are you standing up for? Because I have not recognized you.
Is the member prepared to take a question?
No, I won't. I don't have much time. Thank
He doesn't want.
Okay.
Honorable Member, continue.
Honorable Speaker, this House debated and spent 4 hours, like we waste occasionally or daily, to want all 4 reports. All 4 reports were tabled. At that sitting, the opposition parties did not want to see the tabled reports. They were only interested in the Public Protector's report. The National Freedom Party is of the opinion, yes, whoever is liable and responsible, including the President, if he is responsible and benefit unduly, must pay. But that has not been substantiated without any doubt to this date. It has not been done. And, Honorable Speaker, I believe, and the National Freedom Party believes, that this decision today by the opposition is premature. Why not allow the process to unfold and allow the process to unfold in a manner that you identify those responsible? And I've been told that 155 million rand is going to be recovered, and maybe even more. So what is the point? At the end of the day, Honorable Speaker, if the intention is to recover the money and identify those responsible, then why are we sitting here and deliberating on issues and spending unnecessary time, make accusations which are unfounded?
Honorable Member, your time has expired.
I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Olomisa.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy President, and honorable members, the UDM rejects the so-called ad hoc committee report on Nkandla. Evidence at hand shows that President Zuma and his ministers of public works, the police, military, and state security knew about this project. Therefore, the claim that he did not know and never asked for them is far-fetched, and we reject it outright. Common sense dictates that a logical question be answered. Why did the President fail to stop the abuse of public funds in line with the oath of office? Undisputed evidence indicates that he himself introduced a service provider who was at a time his private architect, and a construction company to the Department of Public Works, directly conflicting the Public Finance Management Act and its regulations. There was never a public procurement process followed as regulated, yet they found themselves in the payroll of the Department of Public Works through his directives. As part of the Public Protector's remedial actions, she recommended that the Department of National Treasury and South African Police Service must quantify the amounts to be paid by the President because he unduly benefited from the project. However, to determine the accurate amount to be paid by the President, the UDM proposes a forensic audit to be conducted. Forensic audit would have exposed in detail who instructed who, when, and for what. This will bring an end to the shifting of blame to government officials for the cost escalation of the project. In fact, we are already advised that some of the officials are made to acknowledge debts, some in the region of 12,000, with the President's private architect to pay 177 million as determined by the Hawks. Accordingly, this House is not empowered to make any final determination on this matter until such time that every piece of evidence is considered and properly examined. In conclusion, we call upon the affected officials who are being harassed by the hawks outside the process to feel free to forward all the relevant reports, documents, and information to the Forum of Opposition Parties, which will ensure a credible, unbiased consideration of such in defense of democracy, constitution, and people of South Africa.
Honorable member, your time has expired.
Amasela kufuneka siwaleqe singawafumane chance wabethe libe ngajonga ngapha isela sileqe.
The Honorable Mulder. Honorable Minister, is that a point of order?
It's a point of concern.
What is a
when Honorable Olumisa was speaking, he looked like Honorable Mulder on my screen. Now I see Honorable Mulder sitting there.
Honorable Mulder, please speak.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy President, the French King Louis XIV is remembered for a very familiar, well-known saying. He said, "L'État, c'est moi." I am the state. But there is an even more appropriate quote by King Louis XIV relevant to the whole Nkandla saga. And I quote, it says, "It is legal because I wish it." And that is what happened at Nkandla. And how does the ANC benches react? They take the quote, "The king can do no wrong." Now, Honourable Speaker, the task of Parliament is to uphold the Constitution. Section 55 of the Constitution deals with the powers of the National Assembly. And it says the National Assembly must provide for mechanisms to ensure accountability and to maintain oversight of the executive. Today we are talking about this wonderful, wonderful, lavish, taxpayers-paid estate. We're talking about this. Now, who is the owner of this? Who is the owner of this? The Honourable President is the owner of this. He must be the luckiest man in the world. Not only did he win the lottery of $1 million, he won it 246 consecutive times. Now, the ANC sent into that committee 3 members to protect the president. And 6 of them, but 3 of them were the stalwarts. The first one was the Honourable Motshekga. And if that honourable member knew anything about the law, he should have recused himself because he's conflicted. You were supposed to do oversight over the president, the same president that appointed your wife as a minister in his cabinet. That's what you did. And then Honourable Speaker, there were the other 2 ladies.
On a point of order, Honourable Speaker.
On
a point of order.
Honourable Mulder, can you take your seat?
We think that I'm raising a point of order. It's very sexist and patriarchal to suggest that a woman leader is appointed because she is a wife to somebody else. We strongly object to that. It's sexist, it's patriarchal, it's archaic, it's uncivilized. It does not belong to a democratic South Africa and West this parliament.
Order, Speaker.
Honourable Mulder.
Honourable Speaker, a point of order is not sexism, it's nepotism, blade.
Honourable Mulder, do you want to please just withdraw the issue of the wife of, because somebody, she is an honourable member.
Of course.
She's an honourable member.
Honourable Speaker, may I address you on your request?
Honourable Speaker.
No, Honourable Mulder.
I have to address you.
Yes, you have to address me.
Thank you. So I'm addressing you. In reaction to the leader of the Communist Party, the fact of the matter is I did not say that the Honourable Minister was appointed.
Honourable Speaker, point of order.
Honourable Mulder. You said you were going to address me. Now I see you talking to Honorable Nzimande.
Okay, ma'am, I will address you then.
Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member. No, please, Honorable Members, when we're still in the middle of something, let's just wait till we finish dealing with this issue. Honorable Mulder.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I did not say that the Honorable Minister of Basic Education was appointed because she's married to a certain gentleman. I did not say that.
What did you say?
I said that the Honorable Honorable Motshega, who is supposed to do oversight of the President, is conflicted because he must judge the actions of the President by coincidence, the same person who appointed his wife. That's the reality. That's
no, Honorable Mulder. Please don't be unfair to us. Don't be unfair to us. You can't make a reference to an honorable member of the House in the kind of... Honorable Mulder, do you mind taking your seat? In the kind of actually sexist and dismissive. I would like you to withdraw it, Honorable Mulder.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, it is not, what I've said is not sexist in any way. But the fact is, I've got some more important things to say, and because I want to say them, I will gladly withdraw. I've got no problem with that.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am. Then, Madam Speaker, there were the two ladies.
Honorable Speaker, can I be recognized? Can I be recognized, Honorable Speaker?
Yes, Honorable Member, what is the point on which you rise?
The point I want, Honorable Mulder, that picture he has been holding to show the nation that the President built the home state with taxpayers' money, it is not true. Here we talk.
Madam Speaker.
That picture is misleading.
Madam
Speaker. That picture is misleading because there's a...
Please, Madam Speaker, on a point of order. Madam Speaker, on a point of order.
Honorable Speaker, may I proceed?
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
I have asked to see the picture so that I can deal with that issue.
There you go. Very nice. That's the help of the President.
Proceed, Honorable Mulder.
Yes,
Honorable.
Honorable Speaker, then there are the two other ladies who led the attack to protect the President, the Honorable Kubai and the Honorable Dlakude. How were they upholding the Constitution and doing oversight over the executive? Let me show you. There. This is what they did. They didn't have in front of them the Constitution. In front of them, they had Q-Tex and they were painting their nails.
Point of order.
This is what they did. This is how they upheld the Constitution. Now, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker,
Honorable members, please. We would like to hear what Honorable Mulder is saying. Now we can't hear.
Seriously, the ANC took oversight. 246 million taxpayers' money was spent on the private residence of the President. If something is wrong, you can't vote it right. It remains wrong. So I'm sorry to say, Honorable Speaker, but the only appropriate thing to do with this ad hoc whitewash report of the ad hoc committee is the following. That's all you can do.
The Honorable Dlakude. Order, honorable members. Order.
Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Deputy President, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, Honorable Members. The security upgrades that were carried out at the President's private residence have been the subject of intense discussions over the last few months. What made the situation even more untenable was the fact that political expediency and sensationalism were often chosen over the truth and facts. This situation was also compounded by the fact that the truth was continuously distorted for political mileage, which is indeed unfortunate when the public is misled for political expediency. I therefore want to express this view from the onset that all the opposition parties that walked away from this process have regrettably only succeeded in disappointing their constituencies. Opposition parties has lost sight of a very significant fact, which is that democracy hinges greatly on robust debate and robust deliberations. It is only through robust debate and greater tolerance for opposing views that we are able to measure the merits and strength of arguments that we present. Having worked out on this process, I believe that a very significant opportunity was missed by the opposition parties to participate in a very fundamental democratic process of parliament. And this is an opportunity that will never be regained. Let me now return to the task before me and proceed to make pronouncements on the findings of the ad hoc committee, which dealt with the security upgrades at the President's private residence. Honorable Speaker, I want to state from the onset that the agenda and mandate of the ad hoc committee was first and foremost to isolate and zoom in the factual merits surrounding this issue. Firstly, due to the fact that many distortions of facts had been peddled, we had to be meticulous and precise in the approach to expose the truth. Secondly, we wanted to ensure that we arrive at a sober conclusions, which can be verified and easily located in all source documents considered by the ad hoc committee. Thirdly, in recognition that this matter was an issue of national importance, we opened up the process to the public in order to demonstrate transparency in action by the ad hoc committee. We did not conduct the proceedings of the ad hoc committee in secrecy or closed sessions.
Order. Honorable Zagude, can you just stop for a moment? I would like the honorable members of the opposition who are bringing objects to desist from that. Honorable members, there are points below which we should resist to go. Please proceed, Honorable Zagude.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We did not conduct the proceedings of the ad hoc committee in secrecy or closed sessions as if to hide information, nor did we use our numbers to enforce secrecy or concealment of information. Instead, we attempted to engage in robust debates with members of the opposition in order to effectively test the strengths of all arguments presented by all parties involved. It was in this vein that our work commenced as we sought to ensure that the findings of the ad hoc committee are exposed to adequate scrutiny and that their veracity has been effectively tested. Honorable Speaker, in his report to the Speaker of the National Assembly on the 14th of August 2014, the President gave clarity around the issue of ownership and occupation of land. He explicitly stated that there are two pieces of land. The one piece is owned by the Ingonyama Trust, which is the legal entity that owns the land and is administered by His Majesty King Goodwill Zwelithini Kapegizulu. The second piece of land is occupied by the Zuma family through a certificate issued by the local chief or Inkosi, termed permission or right to occupy. Upon closer analysis, Honorable Speaker, the ad hoc committee observed that there are structures built on the Ingonyama Trust land, which can be utilized for the greater benefit of the community beyond the President's tenure. In relation to the above, the ad hoc committee recommends that, and I quote, the relevant executive committee should at the appropriate time discuss the President's post-tenure arrangements with the relevant local, provincial, and national authority in order to facilitate the future use of such structures and amenities by the local communities. In 2008, prior to being elected the President, the Zuma family started expanding and improving their homestead. At the time of the President's inauguration in 2009, there were already structures on which work had already started and were at various stages of construction. The enhancement of the President's homestead were financed by a mortgage bond, which the President declared to the Registrar of Financial Interest. Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, point of order, Madam Speaker. On a point of order. On a point of order.
What's the point of order,
The
Honorable
point of
Gadi?
order here, Madam Speaker, is that all the investigative units did not see the so-called bond from the bank.
Honorable
so the
Gadi.
honorable member should not mislead the House about a bond. Can she continue her
Honorable
speech
Gadi.
without referring to things that do not exist?
Gadi, you
Thank
can come and debate if you are on the speaker's list. Leave the honorable member to finish her speech.
Madam Speaker, on a point of order.
What's the point of order, Honorable Shengwa?
Honorable Speaker, I think that members should not mislead the House. Land on Ngonyama Trust does not.
Honorable
get a
member,
bond.
you
It is
can't
a known
engage.
fact.
You can't engage
misleading
with
the
her
House.
like that. Honorable Dagute, please proceed.
Honorable Speaker, liqiniso liyababa. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, to quote page 242, paragraph 7.13.3 of the Public Protector's report, and I quote, however, with the assistance of the Director General in the Presidency, I established on the 17th of December 2013 from the Registrar of Financial Interest that the President has declared a mortgage bond in respect of his private residence at Nkandla since
A point of
2009.
order, Madam Speaker.
I was also given
Can we be
assurance by
recognized
the
on a point
President's
of
legal
order,
team.
Madam
Honorable Gadi.
It's a point of order, this one, Madam Speaker. It can't be ignored. Please.
What is your point of order?
She is actually saying the same thing, that no bond was seen. It is said
Honorable
it was registered,
Gadi,
so she must stop
that's
that.
not a point of order. Please
She's
take your
misleading
seat.
the House, Madam
Take
Speaker.
your seat. Take your seat. Please finish up, Honorable Dagut.
Honorable Speaker, I have quoted the Public Protector's report. I have given the honorable members the pages and the paragraph. So if you don't want to hear that, then Valatin Levetak. Allow me to say that the fact that whenever the name Nkandla is mentioned on the media, the homestead of the President is shown, gives the wrong impression that the public public funds to the public, that public funds was used to build this homestead. We as the ad hoc committee raised serious concern regarding the safety and security of the President. With regard to the architectural designs, it was found that the Zuma family had appointed its own architect to contract and improve their homestead. The President was therefore already in the process of building his own home when security upgrades were commenced at his private residence. As the architect who had been appointed in the expansion initiative by the Zuma family, the President proceeded to introduce Mina and Makanya to the Department of Public Works team, mainly because of the advanced construction taking place at the President's homestead. In addition, the President, in his report to the Speaker on the 14th of August, also acknowledges that the purpose for introduction of Mr. Makanya was for the following reason. Mr. Makanya was already engaged in building in building work at the President's private home. It was done in order to appraise the DPW's team of existing plans and design of construction. Thirdly, it was to ensure as little disruption as possible to the commissioned work. The President did not give an instruction for the DPW professional team to cede control of the security upgrade project to Mr. Makanye. This introduction was for sole purpose of information sharing. Honorable Speaker, what ensued beyond this point of introduction is indeed an indictment to the democratic system of our country. It aggregates to the looting of state resources which were intended to be utilized in a responsible and efficient manner. Upon further interrogation of the source documents before the ad hoc committee, serious anomalies were found, particularly with regard to non-compliance with relevant legislations, which is what led to irregular actions and massive cost escalation. Key amongst the common findings across all source documents indicated that cost escalation inflated the project cost in an irregular manner to an excess amount of 216 million. Although the cabinet memo of 2003 was used to initiate the security upgrades, it was completely deviated from and disregarded throughout the duration of the project. The reports also document a process amounting to dereliction.
Honorable Member, your time has expired. The Honorable Likota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Deputy President, colleagues and friends, today we are witnessing a culmination of an exercise in mass deception. In 2012, the National Assembly was persuaded and approved a budget that was given and tabled before us. However, as the Public Protector's report showed, shortly thereafter, 20 million rand, which was allocated for the Dolomite Risk Management Project in Gauteng, was diverted to northern KZN, there to build a little Durban. The people, the National Assembly, the Treasury, every community that was affected by this did not know, they remain to this day believing that money is coming to them, was going to help deal with the problems of Dolomite. And then shortly thereafter, on the 7th of March, 36 million rand, further 36 million rand, was again diverted to this pet project that was happening there. Nor was that all. On the 12th of September, another 40 million rand was diverted to Nkandla. All of these were monies that had been allocated for communities, various communities, poor communities, to develop them. And yet that money went there. And then what do you think? The Honorable President occupied this podium and told us that no, in fact, yes, that project was going on, but he was paying for it from a family bond. I must say, we must say today, the Public Protector has asked for it. It has never been produced. It is yet to be produced if it is there. Now, this is terrible deception. The whole country continues to believe that the National Assembly voted for that money, and that money has gone to service the needs of our people. This is environment of an alarming proportion. You may not, nobody who knows anything about government may divert money which has been approved by this House for one purpose and then take it and build your own extended family accommodation. And yet that has been done. What we are being asked today is to approve this thing that has been done in our name after we had voted. Now, that was not all. The sad part of it is that former Minister Deutsch, who quietly resisted the pressures on this thing,
Point of order, Speaker.
was dismissed.
Point of order.
And then he was
What's
sent
the
to
point of
Siberia,
order,
out of
Honorable
the
Member?
country.
Just hold on, Honorable Likota, please.
There's and my apologies to Honorable Lekota. There's an honorable member on that side who's behaving like a ringside announcer who's holding up
honorable
pictures.
member, that's not
Thank you
a
very
point
much.
of order.
Madam
That's
Speaker.
not parliamentary.
Madam Speaker,
It is
you
not
are in charge of
parliamentary.
the House, not that
It is
gentleman
not
there.
parliamentary to display pictures in the House unless if one is on the podium, Speaker.
It's true. The honorable member must desist from waving the picture continuously. The honorable member who was at the podium showed us the picture. We don't need honorable members to be doing that in contempt of the honorable member who's at the podium now, who's trying to catch your attention. Continue, honorable
We know
member.
they're infatuated with...
Madam Speaker.
No, honorable members.
Yeah,
may I ask you to please take your seats, Honorable Cronin? I want to let Honorable Lekota finish. Actually, there's a rule here that doesn't allow us to disrupt a speaker at the podium unless there's something very serious. Honorable Lekota?
Madam Speaker, I was making the point that the minister who resisted found himself dismissed and then sent out to Siberia somewhere. The second one, Gwen Mahlangu, who looked in a much shorter time and resisted, found herself also out and away. The present minister is only surviving insofar as he's playing all kinds of tricks to protect and whitewash all of this thing that has been done here and so on. I don't know how long he will last, but I have my doubt he's not likely to last forever as well.
Honorable member, your time has expired.
But it's 25 seconds left here.
No, it's more.
Madam
it's beyond your minutes.
The Congress of the People will not support this whitewash.
Honourable Speaker, let the member come back, please.
I don't allow him to come back. The Honorable Swart.
Speaker, I rise on behalf of the ACDP in joining the opposition parties in rejecting this report. Now, the Honourable Takuda refers to the truth, and I would remind members when they drive outside this parliamentary gate, across the road at the Catholic Church is a big statement that says, "The truth shall set you free." Say no to the secrecy bill. The ACDP says, "The truth shall set you free." Say no to the ad hoc committee report. Now, I'd like to focus on the public protector and the institution of the public protector from a legal perspective. Now, the report takes great pains in quoting Judge Skipper's judgment, and it is so important that we be reminded that this judge said it does not mean that the findings and remedial action are mere recommendations which an organ of state may accept or reject. Now, the Parliament, this ad hoc committee and Parliament is an organ of state. We are bound by the findings of Judge Skipper's. He said, disregarding the findings and remedial actions subvert the public protector's powers. What we are doing is we are subverting a Chapter 9 institution. We are subverting, the ANC is subverting the Constitution today. Now, what should have happened? The judge sets it out in his judgment. And I don't know what legal advice the committee got, but when the ACDP and other members left the committee, obviously the legal advice was wanting. The judge said the correct action is to engage the public protector and to resolve the matter. And where there's a dispute, now this is important, the judge said even when there's a dispute by an organ of state, that organ of state, i.e. the ad hoc committee, must engage the public protector. It cannot impose its findings. What did the ad hoc committee do? It imposed its findings without engaging, and that is unlawful. It is against the Constitution and undermines this Chapter 9 institution. So we need to be very aware. The president has done it in the first step, and now the ad hoc committee is doing it as well. And it is very clear that we as the ACDP, we cannot, and we see the ad hoc committee, and I studied it very carefully, the report, and it selectively quotes those parts of the Public Protector's report that suits its version, that exonerates President Zuma. But when it comes to the findings and the remedial actions, it does not implement those at all. And that is untenable in law. It's untenable in law. And I plead with the members of the ANC, reconsider it, because this will not be upheld by a court of law. It will not be upheld. And when the opposition takes this, because clearly you've decided to enforce the will on Parliament, when this organ of state, Parliament, is taken to court, it will be overturned by a court of law in terms of Judge Skipper's judgment. The ACDP will not support this report. I thank you.
The Honourable Nchaisa.
Honourable Speaker, I think we all agree that there was a misuse of funds at Nkandla. That is a fact. We cannot run away from that. And it is proper that one or two people should be held accountable for that. Honourable Speaker, it became clear from the onset that the members of the ad hoc committee to deal with the issue of Nkandla had a different perspective on the approach to this matter. It must also be noted how the Constitution is sometimes interpreted to suit the circumstances of a particular individual at a particular time. As the AIC, we also observe with interest how the powers and the independence of Chapter 9 institutions are being undermined when they do not favor those that are in power. It is interesting to note that Section 182, subsection 3 of the Constitution empowers the public protector to take appropriate remedial action. And the report of the committee says it is not binding to any organ of the state. Yet the same committee recommends that the president may take appropriate action against any member of the executive who failed to implement the provisions of the Cabinet Memorandum of 2003, knowing well that those actions will not be binding to anyone. It's very much interesting. Rule 138A of the Rules of National Assembly allows the committee to summon anyone to appear before it to give evidence. But according to this report, no one did appear. The reason is that itself shows immaturity in our democracy. As AIC, we do not accept this report as it leaves much to be desired. The manner in which the committee conducted its work is not satisfactory. It is clear, therefore, that President really unduly benefited from this project. For the mere fact that the legal opinion suggested by the opposition parties was refused means that there's something fishy in all this. The remedial action put forward by the public protector is just like a medicine to heal the sick, then it should be taken and made use of. What about now when something wrong has been discovered? Then a person, what is important now, you should admit, then that should be put an end. Then we correct the mistakes. Let us protect our constitution and take rational decisions for the future of this country and our children. You know, Honourable Speaker, this arrogance will never take us anywhere, because it is because of arrogance now that we do these things. That will never take us anywhere. Accountability, honesty, dignity are some of the fundamental principles now that have got to be observed in our democracy. To observe the rules of law and constitution is very, very important. Therefore, we say
as I say, we speak independently. Of course, we are African Independent Congress, so we speak our independent mind. So someone must pay. Thank you very much.
Honorable Klowama.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to say Arang rejects this report. Honorable Speaker, it must be noted that President Zuma has become the Judas Iscariot, Mobutu Sese Seko, Idi Amin of our time. This report is a polluted endeavor to clear President Zuma. It is a clear attempt to stop Parliament from holding the President to account. It is also a clear sign that President Zuma and his friends are above the law. The Nkandla nightmare is a clear manifestation that our miracle rainbow nation has become the harvest of greedy leaders. President Zuma has reached paradise, and the ANC are acting like gods to protect him in Nkandla from the law. I can't believe this. So soon, former struggle heroes, activists who were willing to die for this country have now sold their soul, their honor to protect one man. Just one man. The ANC must remember this, and you must remember this very well. You can't lie to our people forever. Honorable Speaker, I want to emphasize further that Aram believes that the Zuma presidency is a shame and a disgrace to our country. Honorable Speaker, we must be frank with South Africans. We must be frank with South Africans that if we don't remove President Zuma, then the ANC honorable members who participated in removing former President Thabo Mbeki, are they telling us that former President Mbeki was worse than Zuma? I refuse. I truly refuse that former President Mbeki, we owe him an apology, because this one, the president of this country, is worse than him. Honorable speakers, Arang is saying in front of you that if you allow this report and you allow this president to finish his term, don't do it in this country, do it somewhere else. This president deserves to be removed with immediate effect. And when we do that, we should not even feel any sympathy to him, because he has made our country a harvest for him and his friends to enjoy without the people of this country benefit, be it housing or basic services. I'm warning you, the ANC, that you are not going to be the ruling party forever, as long as you keep President Zuma in power. And I want to say this. I hope the president is listening. I hope he can make us a favor and resign with immediate effect. Because we want to go out of this country with our heads above our heads.
Honorable member, your time has expired. Honorable Mutsecha. Honorable House Chairperson, Honorable Deputy President, Honorable members, Honorable Olomisa said that the country faces a constitutional crisis. In South Africa, there is no constitutional crisis. There is a constitutional illiteracy on the part of the DA-led unholy political alliance, which does not respect the due process of the law and parliamentary rules of procedure.
The constitutional illiterates among us are tarnishing the image of our country and bringing the office of the president into disrepute without factual and legal basis and contrary to the rules of this honorable house. Today, Honorable Maimane sank into the pigsty of dirty politics. He rejected the report without a factual, legal, and constitutional basis and made an outrageous statement without substantive evidence that the president willfully used his power, the power of his office, to benefit himself. Even the public protector has not made that finding. Where does Honorable Maimane find it? It means that the greatest liar of the century is Honorable Maimane. The
point of order.
Yes, Honorable Member.
Given the fact that the honourable member is a former chief whip who got sacked, he knows that the term calling an honourable member a liar is unparliamentary and he must withdraw.
The statement
Honorable Mutshekga.
I withdraw, but want to remind this House that the statement of Honorable Maimane is the greatest liar.
Honorable Mutshekga, withdraw the statement.
Akhbare Dr. Melder. Akhbare Dr. Melder. Ek het groot respect vir u.
Point of order. Deputy Speaker, my understanding is that you asked the Honourable Mutshekga to withdraw that. He then proceeded to repeat the offending
I
statement.
withdrew a long time ago. You can't hear because you are making noise.
I wish you had withdrawn a long time ago.
Honourable
Parliament would be
members,
a better place.
Order. Order, honourable members. We want to hear each other.
Dr. Melder. Ek het groot respek vir u. Ek glo u samewerke met die DA wat altyd probeer om die Afrikaners te angliseer. Het u in verwarring gestort. Ek vergewe u vir wat u gesê oor my, mevrou en die president. Honorable members, this is a legislature. If you want to evaluate a report of the ad hoc committee, you can only do it in the light of the Constitution and the law. But the constitutional illiterates on my left are not able to engage with the report because they don't understand
Order,
the
Deputy
Constitution
Speaker.
and the law.
Order, Deputy Speaker. Can the Deputy Speaker recognize me on a point of order?
Honorable Member.
Sit down so that I can continue with the point of order.
Honorable Gadi,
Yes.
you are out of order, and I suggest you sit down. You speak even before I've recognized you. You give orders to members. That's wrong. Sit down, honorable member.
But on the actual point of order that I wanted to raise.
No, honorable member. You are
He's calling us illiterate.
Honorable member, that's a point of debate. It's not a point of order. Please take your seat, honorable member.
Oh, okay.
Deputy Speaker,
Honorable member.
Deputy Speaker, in terms of Rule 63, the Honourable Mutshekga referred to people as the constitutional illiterates on my left. I would submit that is incredibly insulting to the Honourable Cronin, Nzamande, and Ntesi, and I would ask that he withdraws that.
Proceed, honorable member.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, to direct the debate in terms of the Constitution and the law, we must remind the people here that there were three grounds on which the opposition withdrew. Firstly, because they said we wanted to treat
the report of the public protector as equal to other reports. Secondly, that we refused to call witnesses. Thirdly, that we refused to call for a legal opinion. Let me address the question of the witnesses first. Honorable Speaker, the committee did not arbitrarily refuse to call any witness. The committee said, if the need arises, we will do so. But the DA-led alliance did not remain in attendance to establish the need. They left. But also,
Speaker,
despite...
Yes, Honorable Member.
Honorable
Macheka, take your seat. What are you raising on?
I rise on a point of order. I submit that Honorable Macheka is misrepresenting and misleading the House.
Honorable.
He says that he says we made a request to say witnesses must be brought.
Honorable Member, that's a point of debate. It's not a point of order.
You can't mislead the House.
It's not a point of order, Honorable Member. No, Honorable Member, you do that again, you're out of this House. You are out of this House if you do that again. You can't scream like that as if this is a shebeen, Honorable Member. This is wrong. No, this is wrong. Proceed, Honorable Members. I beg you to be orderly. And your comments are disruptive. Proceed, Honorable Member.
The committee considered all the 4 reports and found no basis to call any witness. And secondly, the committee, in terms of Rule 138, examined the practices of ad hoc committees that came before and found that in 2004, the ad hoc committee did not call witnesses. And therefore, in terms of the principle of precedence, our committee decided that it was not necessary to call any witness. So we didn't act arbitrarily.
Honorable Msiaka, take your seat. What are you raising on, Honorable Member?
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I want to ask from the Honourable Member if he's prepared to answer a rather easy question.
At the end.
At the end, he says, Honourable Member.
I think, with respect, the opposition members must accept that they prematurely said that the remedial actions of the public protector were binding. And on the basis of that wrong misunderstanding, they came here and launched a payback campaign. But now, unfortunately, the Western Cape High Court came to the determination that the remedial actions of the public protector are not binding and enforceable. So you were defeated by the court, and now you are frustrated. You want to get... And Honorable Swart, you know I have great respect for you. But today you disappointed me because we as the committee agree with the court that you cannot just reject the remedial reports or the recommendations without cogent reasons. And it is for that reason that the President and the various ministers took various steps to address the situation in Nkandla. That shows that the committee and the ANC in particular was well ahead of even the courts, because we knew that we can't simply dismiss the findings of the committee. But I think that let's agree that the is no evidence in all the reports that there was undue influence on the part of the president, on the principal agent and others. In fact, it is interesting that the public protector herself said that some ministers strained too close to the areas of responsibility, but she doesn't say the same of the president. Now, on what basis does one link, on what basis does one link the escalation of the costs and the security safeguards that were made with the president? There is no basis to link the president with anything, but because people had already made up their mind, they came to that. Let me also address the question of undue benefit.
Honourable Member,
there was
the time is expired.
Sorry.
The time is expired.
No. In conclusion, the ANC has not absolved the president from anything. The committee said that we need further security.
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. I'll take the question.
No, honourable member, the time has expired.
I know.
Yeah, and so he didn't provide for you for his time. It has to be in his time, and it's expired, honourable member. So it is still the end. You can still go out and ask your question. Yes, honourable member.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. You'll be surprised, but I do know the rules. I'm not here to ask a question. I know the time has expired. I'm rising on a point of order.
Yes.
It's completely unacceptable that the honourable member ignores the chair. After you've said his time has expired, he just continues.
Honourable member.
Continues. So,
yes, honourable member.
Honourable Speaker, if that precedent Honourable Deputy Speaker, I'm waiting for you to create order in the House.
Honourable member, make your point.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. The point I'm making is that you clearly indicated to the Honourable Member that his time has expired. That means he must leave the podium. He ignores the chair and he continues with his speech. Now, if that precedent is going to be accepted by the chair, we are all going to do that. Is that what you want?
Let me tell you, let me answer you, honourable member. Honourable Mulder. Honourable members in this House, including in the opposition ranks, have been doing that. And no. I've said to you here on the platform, your time has expired more than twice, more than thrice, throughout the House. You have been creating that precedent yourselves. So all members, I have said so often in the House that members, you can self-manage. You can time yourself. Watch the clock on the left. I've said that often here because you were yourselves going beyond the time limits that were given. I wouldn't have asked you to self-manage, time yourself, if it was not because you were overstepping the time required for you. You can't claim now that it's a precedent that was set by Honourable Msek. It is doing what I have said to all members in this House, that you must self-manage. Honourable Godi.
On a point of order, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I didn't want to rise while the Speaker was at the podium, but I want to also point out number 70 on the order paper, on the rules, on points of order.
Order, honourable members. Let the member speak.
When a point of order is raised, the member called to order shall resume his or her seat.
Yes.
And the honourable member never did that. So I think in future the member must know his rules and obey the
Yes,
speaker.
thank you for reminding members. Thank you. Thank you for reminding members. Yeah. Proceed, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, Deputy President, comrades and honorable members. Deputy Speaker, the APC welcomes this report. Especially its thrust to seek to deal with the systemic weaknesses in financial management as well as gaps in policy and implementation on prestige projects. The report of the Public Protector in part vindicates the reports of the Auditor General on the collapse of internal controls in the Public Works Department, which, with a recent reported irregular expenditure of about 30 billion rands over a number of years. As a consequence, scope creep and cost escalations became the norm in the Department of Public Works prestige programs. Unfortunately, Deputy Speaker, the thrust and content of opposition politics in this country is arbitrary, mechanical, and negative. The Public Protector did not find the President guilty of any criminal conduct. She has, however, directed that for non-security constructs, he should pay some amount. The APC believes that this particular aspect must be complied with without prejudice unless successfully challenged legally. We are, however, aware of paragraph 5.9 in the report, which is meant to bring this aspect to a close. Parliament should ensure that the timeframes for reports to the House should be adhered to, so as to ensure that those that are responsible are held accountable and the identified systemic weaknesses are corrected. I thank you.
Honorable Self.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. The Chair of Scopa's attitude was entirely predictable, since he obviously has to sing for his supper. But we are confronted today, Deputy Speaker, by a situation which defines so much of what is wrong with South Africa under its current government and with Parliament with its current majority. Between 2009 and 2011, some 246 million rands was spent on Nkandla residence of the President. Now, this matter was investigated by a number of institutions, and all these institutions concede that irregularities occurred. Where they differ is about who was responsible for those irregularities and what needs to happen about it. But if you read all those reports together, you discern a pattern. And that starts with big man politics, where number one gets everything that he wants, whether it's upgrades to his home or allowing his pal Gupta to land at a military airbase. Number one appoints cabinet members who jump at his command and who get fired if they don't deliver. If you don't believe me about Nkandla, go ask Jeff Deutsch or Gwen Mashlangu. The second aspect of this pattern is cadre deployment, where civil servants are appointed not because of their ability to do the job, but because of their loyalty to the ruling party, or still worse, a faction in that ruling party. And if they don't jump to number one's command, they too are the subject of disciplinary steps. If you don't believe me, speak to Kenneth Kanile, General Ramlakan, or Jean Rindle. The third aspect is the deliberate conflation of the costs associated with the private upgrades to Mr. Zuma's home and the security upgrades to which presidents are entitled in terms of the Cabinet Memorandum of 2003. Thus, Mr. Zuma introduced his architect, Mr. Nkandla, who was extending his private home to public works, and Mr. Nkandla became the principal agent for both. How convenient! This allowed the costs associated with the private upgrades to be merged with those relating to the security upgrades. Was this coincidence? Of course not. It was part of a deliberate scheme to absolve Mr. Zuma from paying for the improvements of his own home. Exonerating Mr. Zuma is what this exercise is all about. The public protector was asked to investigate this mess. The security ministers tried to warn her off. She persisted. Mr. Zuma ignored her questions for 9 months, then answered only 12 of the 29 questions she put to him. In her report, the public protector ordered Mr. Zuma, with the assistance of the National Treasury and the SAPs, to find out what the costs of the improvement that did not relate to security upgrades were, and to pay a reasonable percentage of those costs. Now, Mr. Zuma chose to ignore that remedial action. He didn't give reasons for his refusal to do so, nor did he engage the public protector, as the judgment of Justice Kippers now obliges him to do. And Mr. Motshekga, the Honourable Motshekga, would do well to avoid selectively quoting from that judgment. Instead, he wrote the public protector a condescending letter on the 11th of September, telling her that he had decided to let the Minister of Police, a person appointed by Mr. Zuma, to determine whether or not he was liable to repay anything at all. He also suggested that she wait for the ANC study group on the ad hoc committee to deliver their verdict. Well, surprise, surprise. The ANC cadres on that committee, in a fatuous 34-page report, argue that Mr. Zuma cannot be held responsible for the upgrades because the cabinet memorandum procedures were not followed. Mr. Zuma knew about those upgrades. He complained about the disruption they were causing. He was unhappy about the bulletproof glass that was being installed, so much so that poor Jeff Deutsch had to go off to the factory. He was regularly briefed by the Minister and the Deputy Minister of Public Works. He must have been blind and deaf not to have seen what was happening around him. And he must have known that a swimming pool, a cattle kraal, an amphitheatre, and a visitor centre could not possibly have been necessary for his safety. So we have a president who has disrespected and disregarded the public protector, who has unduly benefited from taxpayers' money, who has violated his oath of office, who has misled Parliament, and the majority party exonerates him. We have arrived at a crossroads in our democracy. The ad hoc committee about which the Honourable Dlakude is so proud is a whitewash and a travesty. This House has a duty to reject it. If this House chooses to accept the report and exonerate the President, it will be dishonouring the struggle for democracy, and it will also be choosing to relegate itself to irrelevance.
Honourable Kubai.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, Deputy President, comrades and compatriots. The ANC in the committee through the leadership has reiterated. I think you are going to have to fasten your seatbelt because it's going to be a bumpy ride. The ANC in the committee through the leadership has reiterated our commitment to defending the Constitution and our institutions supporting democracy. Contrary, the ANC supports the Office of the Public Protector and believes that it was not a mistake to have it establish such an institution. The impression that is created that the reports of the Public Protector are binding and enforceable needs to be explained, especially by the Democratic Alliance. Together with the party, especially the leader. Maybe I must leave 1 minute for the leader of DA to explain why DA in its leadership, where it's leading, the following reports were not fully implemented if they are agreeing that the reports are binding and are enforceable. Report number 1 of 2012-2013, dated 1 June 2012, termed, "Yes, we made mistakes." The Premier promised to resign if the probe found irregularities in the handling of the contract. 4 counts of maladministrations were found. Have you asked her what happened? Why has she not resigned, as she promised? Let me remind DA, the preliminary report of the PP under the investigation of Advocate Ruth Feven van Rensbeck pronounced maladministration and misuse of state resources. Within 2 weeks, the Premier met, which it's within her rights, met with this leader of the investigating team, and the report was changed. Guess what? Later, Mr. Advocate Ruth van Rensbeck was now employed in the office of the Premier. This is what the DA is doing. So I want to ask, why are we not knowing about this? The media, together with the DA, choose selectively to make noise about what they want. I'm proving this because you're obsessed about one person. There's no principle, there's nothing. Again, let's come. The report on Midval. Major findings. I'm flagging this. The report on Midval that was reported on October 2012. This one I'm flagging as well because I want to show the public and South Africans that all this noise that they are making is because it's the type of hypocrisy and lack of principle, the obsession on attacking President Zuma and thus losing focus. People made noise saying we are here to engage because there must be debates in the National Assembly. They ran away from debates. We were engaging. We never voted in the ad hoc committee. We engaged until they ran away. When they ran away from that, let me tell you, honorable members, the anti-majoritarian forces within the plutocracy and the media have often accused the African National Congress of willfully abusing its parliamentary majority by steamrolling its position through voting. Instead of using superior arguments to win debates, we engaged, they ran away from the debate, literally taking the saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. They did that. It is important to understand opposition parties did not come to the committee to make contributions. They came running, chasing one person, pay back the money. Let's come back to that. We regarded as the committee all reports to be important. They said, no, this report, ISIU, is not important. You know what? Public protector referred matters to, they even forgot that. Public protector referred certain matters to the SIU. But they said, no, we're not regarding the SIU report. What is this thing? Hypocrisy and obsession with President Zuma. We cannot, as parliament, be here, delegate our duties, and also make sure, we need to make sure that we are doing what is expected. That's why you are screaming. Because you have let me tell you, because your caucus is in tatters, you have lost leadership confidence. That's why you have some of your members lobbying for Kola Barnett and Manir to lead. It's because of this thing. We will tell you. It would have been derogation of duties if the ad hoc committee advanced certain MPs' personal vendettas against the president, instead of comprehensively scrutinizing the reports to enable Parliament to arrive at specific set of recommendations, which are before us, and we have given the executive 3 months to respond to those. Before they could walk out, they made some things. They were saying that to us, no, let's call witnesses. Let's deal with that. We say to them, they failed to even answer one question. We say to them, okay, when we call witnesses, when anyone arriving before us and tables material evidence that is going to change the report of the public protector, what are we going to do? They ran away even before answering that question. So, this is the type of the opposition that we have that can constructively input into a process. They ran away from debates and grandstand. The reason they delayed the House today is because they know there is no flaws in this report that is before the House. The report, we have been meticulous. We've made sure that we close the gap. We understand what is happening. They know their advisors had advised them, even they go to court, they are going to lose. That's why they did not want the House to adopt the report today. We must never be fooled. You see, Let me talk about the issue that Honorable Maiman even raised, the journey of accountability. I think you will start with the Honorable Zille and make sure that all those reports the public protector said in the DA-led municipalities are implemented before you make noise. But secondly, you spoke about Protea North. Fortunately, I don't visit Protea, I stay in Protea. Dolomite area, ANC government said that there is a Dolomite area. That's why those people are moved to Lufereng. Because you don't stay there, you don't know. They are being migrated. That's where I stay. I don't talk about something that I don't know. Mamu Kaula, okubuhlungu mamu wami, ukuthi umuntu omdala nefanele ngikuphendule. Kodwa ubuhlanga mama, uzoma la endlini. Hayibo. You were so tribal, you were so regionalist. South Africa in this current democracy asakudingi mama lokho. Sikhuluma nje ngezwe lodwa. Asisakhulumi ngokuthi ngoba ngikwakaZulu, ngikwakabantu ayenziwa lokho. Njengomhlonishwa mama. Hayibo, khuzeka. Honorable Singh, you spoke about the issue of the non-security upgrade. If you went through the report, you would understand that the report covers those issues. You see, the problem is that you are rejecting something you have not even read, honorable members. If you had made time to read that report, we have answered all those questions. In the issue of the non-security, we are saying, in light of what the public protector said, it's not what we have derived ourselves. The PP in her report says that the subs, because she understands these are the people who can do security assessment. We have affirmed that to say, go and do assessment, tell us if there's anything that is non-security, and report to Parliament. What are you talking about? The other issue that I want to talk about, they say that this report, honorable member says that they don't, even my man says that they don't recognize the report. But he went and asked for the report when we were still even processing it. He called for it to say a letter that he wrote to the chair saying that he is the rightful member of the committee and therefore deserves the report. If you don't recognize the work of that committee, you don't recognize the report. Why are you asking for it? So you can see hypocrisy and obsession with President Zuma. Now, you see, Honorable Melda, I didn't know you like me so much. That journalist misled you. There was no painting. But anyway, I am happy that you have got my picture in your office and well laminated. Thank you very much.
Honorable member, your time has expired.
Thank you very much.
Honorable members, that honorable members, that concludes the debate, and I recognize the Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I move that the report be adopted.
Honorable members, the motion is that the report be adopted.
Deputy
Are there
Speaker,
any objections?
Deputy Speaker, I'd like to move an amendment to the report, please.
Yes. What's the amendment? Yes. Yes.
Deputy Speaker, I amend the report as follows: that we delete everything after the word "as follows" on page 1, and we substitute it with this document, which begins Nkandla, the real story, background findings, and this substitutes a text which I will table with the table there.
Honorable members, I now put the amendment to the report as moved by the Chief Whip of the opposition. Are there any objections to the amendment?
Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member.
I'm not sure how we can object or agree to amendments whose contents we do not know.
Yes.
How do we deal with that?
Yes. Honourable Member.
It's not a paragraph, it is a document.
Yeah. Honourable Member, allow me to put it to the House for the House to decide. Are there any objections to the amendment? As there are objections, I now put the question. Those in favor will say aye. Those against, no. I think the noes have it.
Deputy Speaker, the DA would like to make a declaration.
Okay. Honourable members, yes. Yeah, okay. Honourable members, declarations have been called for. Any member wishes to make a declaration?
Thank you. Here. You know, I'm amazed that a report that was written before the ad hoc committee even convened is now being considered today.
All right, honourable members, let's listen to the member.
We sent Honourable Saguda and Honourable Kubai to come there and paint their nails. My proposal is that their next color must be a whitewash, because that's what this report is. But what is more critical is that, in fact, the Secretary General of the ANC made an important call after the NEC of the ANC. Simply said the following words: go to Parliament and defend President Zuma and Deputy President. This report has done nothing except to do exactly that point: defend the president. So, honorable members, I am of the view that it was written way before that. Even Honorable Mucheka did not even argue in support and gave any more evidence, in fact conflated the public protector. The simple conclusions are as follows: is that a crime took place. Now, for any crime to take place, there must be a person who commits the crime. The victim in this instance are the people of this country whose money was stolen. The true criminal in this place is number one at Nkandla. The true accomplices, though, the true supporters of the crime, are the members who were deployed to the committee to say support the crime that is taking place.
Honourable member.
And the two accomplices are those who will vote in support of this.
Honourable
They are
Maiman.
accomplices to the crime,
You see,
and they are going to support the reform.
Honourable Maiman, you see what you have just done. You have literally refused when I address you. You have spoken. You've been looking at me. You've been hearing me. Listen, honourable member, be honest. And when you do that, you call the president a criminal. You have not moved a substantive motion to do that. You know it's out of order. I ask you to withdraw it, honourable member.
Deputy Speaker, it's a tough moment in our country.
Yes.
I don't know how to call when the public protector says someone tacitly agreed and unduly benefited.
Honourable member.
How do I call that person?
Honourable member, withdraw your remarks.
How do I say money was stolen?
Honourable member.
Who stole the money?
Honourable member, you are defying me, and this is the second time. I have no authority over you. I now name you Honourable Maiman. Yes. I now name you, sir.
What is that?
Honorable members, I now put the motion presented by the Chief Whip of the Majority Party.
Order, Chair. Order, Deputy Chairperson. Deputy Speaker.
Yes, Honorable, what are you raising
We are
on?
making declaration, Deputy Speaker.
Yes, yes. Next, who's making declaration? Who's next? Go ahead.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The fact of the matter remains that the public protector has made a finding that the president unduly benefited from the security upgrades in his house. The president is tacitly denying that he unduly benefited. The president introduced the architecture to the team of public works, tacitly telling them that don't go for public procurement of a consultant. Here is a consultant. The president is in breach of his constitutional obligation for a fair and transparent procurement process. He confirms that he did request that his kraal of cows be moved from point A to point B. He does not want to pay for that 1 million rand kraal. The president, by saying that he is not liable, he is not financially accountable, and he did not ask for the kraal to be moved from where it was to wherever it is, yet then he still says and is quoted in the public protector. That makes that particular person who says so nothing but corrupt and a thief. Money is stolen here. The president is telling the nation that there is no money stolen, he did not benefit. The president is lying. Unless he wants to tell us that he is a thief, he must pay back the money, Honorable Speaker. That's our declaration.
You too, Honorable Member, you are not allowed to say that without a substantive motion before the House. Withdraw that, Honorable Member.
Deputy Speaker, there is a substantive debate of the issues around the president. So there's no need for any supplementary motion, substantive motion here. We live with it that money is stolen in Nkandla. The president is declining, is saying that he did not benefit when it is actually so. So the president is making himself liable to be called as such. Nothing to withdraw here, Deputy Speaker.
Yes. Honorable Member, you too have defied me. I'm going to come back to you just now. Honorable members,
Deputy Speaker,
I'm in the chair, and for now, I have authority to act in a manner that I consider appropriate at the moment. What are you raising on, Honorable Member?
Deputy Speaker, I'm rising to get clarity from you. The reason why a substantive motion is required in the House is that there's a notice period for debate and you have to put the allegations, etc. Now, what we're dealing with in the House today is a report into the President's conduct. And I would submit to you that it is already a substantive item before the House, and therefore a substantive motion is not required. We can discuss and reflect on the behavior of the President.
What rule is that, Honorable Member? Chief Whip?
Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair.
Yes, Honorable Chief Whip.
Due respect, Honorable Chair, I think the Chief Whip of the opposition is wrong.
Yeah.
We are not debating the conduct of the President. We are debating the report on the security upgrades in the private residence of the President.
Yes.
Not the President.
A point of order, Deputy Chairperson.
Honorable Gadi, let me speak to the Chief Whip of the opposition. Yes, Honorable Member.
I'm saying it's in terms of the rules of debate, Deputy Speaker. The conduct of the President is the subject of the Public Protector's findings, which are contained in the report,
Honourable
which
member.
which were grappled with by
All
the
right.
Public
Honourable member, do not be offensive and hide behind what you call the rules of debate. Even in debate, you do not become indecent in your language. You do not become out of order in how you refer to members, as you know in the rules. So by doing so, you are suggesting that this is the language that members can use in this House. And this is not what you want. Is that what you want, Honourable Member?
No, Deputy Speaker, but then a ruling must be made in terms of item 63.
Honourable Chief Whip, the Honourable Member has made a big mistake. And I have said I'll come back to that because we'll have to rule it. You are not going to instruct me what to do, Honourable Members. Can you behave, please? Just for a change, behave. Just for a change, just behave. Honourable Members, I have now, I'll give you a chance before we proceed. I must make this, maybe I shouldn't. Let me withdraw that. I'll make it towards the end, yes. I don't know, Honourable Member. The next declaration, Honourable.
Thank you. Honourable Speaker, let's get some calm in the House. What is this about? What is this about? The President became President. A decision was taken to take measures to protect the Honourable President. It was supposed to cost 27 million rand. 6 months later, it became clear to the media that we're not talking about 27 million rand, we are talking about 65 million rand. That was in December 2009. That was brought to the attention of South Africa. What did the government do to take note of that reality? Nothing. 3 years later, the Minister of Public Works took some steps to investigate. And what happened in the meantime? It escalated to 246 million rand of taxpayers' money. Now, the essence is that it's being suggested that the Honourable President was completely unaware of what was going on. He didn't know, he didn't say anything, he didn't complain about anything. People came to his house, they spent that amount of taxpayers' money on your property, and you are completely surprised. Oh my goodness, what happened? The Public Protector tried to find the truth. She asked the Honourable President 27 questions. Until today, he ignored 18 of those questions. Who undermined the Public Protector? Who undermined the Constitution? Who did that? The President made the Public Protector wait 9 months before his answer was a non-answer. That's the reality, Honourable Speaker, that's the reality. So the problem is that the President tacitly accepted the implementation of all these measures. And I can understand that it's the duty of the ruling party's members to protect the President under all circumstances. I can understand that. But is that right? Is that in line with the oath that we all swore to uphold the Constitution? Is that in line with that? You know what the most senior member of Public Works said in charge of finances? He said the following. He was pleading for a further 130 million rand. He said, note that failure to assist me with the financial side in this project will result in all of us failing the principle, which will not be accepted lightly by the powers to be. In conclusion, Chairperson, maybe we should take note of what Professor K.A. Bushwa from Ghana wrote about democracy, and he said the following. A democracy in the last analysis depends on the character of individual men and women and the moral standards of the community. Rules governing elections may be made. Freedoms may be provided in constitutions and bills of rights may be passed, but they will make it difficult for arbitrary acts to exist. But they will not by themselves secure democracy. There are unwritten rules such as honesty, integrity, restraint, and respect for democratic procedures.
Member,
that is what
your
you're
time
all
has
lacking
expired.
today.
Honourable Singh.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I think we as the IFP have made our position abundantly clear during the debate. We will not support the report that is tabled before us by the ad hoc committee. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I don't think we in this House should and can accept that the Honorable President has not benefited by value adding to his private house in some form or the other. Even if it is 50 cents, value has been added. What we are looking for, and we are making an impassioned plea, Honorable Deputy Speaker, is that the President rise above what the committee members, what his members are going to do here. Be a statesman, lead by example, make sure that we do not undermine a Chapter 9 institution like the Public Protector. Because if the President undermines that institution, then we're going to find any other body where she makes a finding against are going to undermine her authority. Honorable Deputy Speaker, members of the ANC, get your President to pay even 50 rand towards value added, because then you would be saying to the country, I accept responsibility, I'm leading by example in this regard. So the calculation can be done, but accept the principle. And Mr. President, we know you are in Nigeria or somewhere else, but you will get the message. Do take this honorable step of agreeing to the principle of paying something towards value that has been added to your private residence. Thank you.
UDM.
Deputy Chairperson, if the President disagrees with the finding and remedial actions of the Public Protector, the law allows him to approach the courts for a judicial review. Instead of exercising this right, as we all know, the President chose to undermine the office of the Public Protector, a Chapter 9 institution, by equating it with other committees
Honourable Deputy Speaker.
and institutions which
member
do
on the
not
floor.
have the same status as
member on
those
the floor.
created by the Constitution.
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I want you to please control the howlers on the side. We can't hear what's being said. Please call them to order.
Order, honorable members. Honorable members, order. Order. Proceed, Honorable Holomisa. Honorable members, order.
Njengoba sekucacile
On a
ke
point of
ukuba
order. On a point
le
of
nto
order,
sithetha ngayo
Speaker.
apha.
On a point of order, Deputy Speaker.
Yes, honorable member.
I sit this side, and I've got every respect of this House. I can't be, as part of the people who sit this side, be told that I'm a howler.
Yeah.
Well, Honourable Deputy Speaker, if the shoe fits, I mean.
No, honorable member. You are out of order. Proceed, honorable member. No, yeah.
Inyani wena mhlali ngaphambili yokokuba into ebesifoma ngoku sixoxa ngayo kweli lizwe ayizo scandals ezikhoyo ezisurrounde ipresidency. Koko njengoba kunzima siyibona imeko ayikho ntle. Besifamba ngoku sidiscussa i-exit strategy kaPresident Zuma. Cha kuphela. Otherwise ichitha nje ixesha lethu. Yabulela.
Next.
On a point of order, Chair.
Yes,
On a
honorable
point of
member.
order.
Yes.
I think, Chairperson, the honorable member of IFP must withdraw. She can't call us howlers. We are honorable members of parliament. She really must withdraw that. She can't address us as howlers. We are honorable members
Deputy
of parliament.
Deputy Speaker,
No, honorable member.
can I rise on a point of order?
What's your point of order, honorable member?
The point of order is that Honorable Kaula stood up here and complained about a blonde that side, and she was made to withdraw calling a person a blonde. And another honorable member of IFP is complaining about the same side. And they are saying they are not howlers. They are. Can you please tell them not to continue doing what they are doing?
Honourable Deputy Speaker, I'll call them honourable howlers then.
Now, order, Deputy Speaker. Order, Deputy Speaker.
Yes, honorable member, yeah.
No, order, Deputy Speaker.
Yes.
I agree and I accept that if the honorable member is not comfortable and there are people that are making noise and making it impossible to listen here, I agree she has got a right to make an order. What I cannot agree is that then she paints everybody this side as howlers, even to say they're honorable. And I'm not going to withdraw that. If she says the shoe fits, then we must not allow her to have the right to say so and not be able to say the same thing back to her.
I will apologise to that member. I refer to these members.
Honorable member, I request you to do so unconditionally, and I'm going to appeal to honorable members to please be order. We have to listen to each other.
Chairperson, I will withdraw, but I think the members
No.
I really don't see what's wrong with the word howler. It means a person that makes a noise.
Yes. Withdraw, honorable
that's
member.
exactly what they are.
Are you withdrawing, honorable member?
I'll withdraw.
Thank you. Next declaration, Honorable Godi.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Like I indicated when the amendment
Point
was
of order,
made,
Mr. Deputy Speaker.
What are you raising on, honorable member?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, you've made a ruling that Honorable Father Member withdraw. But what I cannot then accept is for these members to say Lomlung, they must then withdraw that.
Honorable member. Honorable. Aye. Honorable members. Aye. Honorable members. Honorable Sangwa, you must.
Order.
Honorable member. Honorable members, when you rise on that kind of point of order, it is always useful to tell us who said so that we must confront that person to withdraw immediately. Because, honorable members, let's not use language that is going to be problematic in the House.
Honorable Deputy Speaker,
yes.
The issue is the honorable members are acting en bloc.
I want to rule, honorable
I'm
member.
asking you, honorable,
Yeah.
No, honorable Deputy Speaker, I would plead with you that you
Yeah.
ask the honorable members to the honorable thing and own up. They must act like adults. If they want to what they said, let them do it. Because this thing of being selective, Honorable Kuba was on that point about tribalism, and we all agree with her. So we can't allow it then to be extended.
Yeah.
The members must act like adults. Own up.
Chairperson.
If you're man enough, own up.
Honorable members.
If I were to address you,
Yes.
Speaker, can I address you?
Yes.
If there is any member this side who addressed the honorable member of IFP as Umlungu, on behalf of the member, I withdraw.
Yes, honorable.
Deputy Speaker, I would like to bring to your attention that I've watched very clearly Minister Zulu. She came back from out the hall, but she's been sitting here yelling that word over and over and over repeatedly at the member of the IFP. I've watched it very clearly, and I would indeed ask that that be withdrawn personally from the minister.
Point of order, Chair. Point of order.
Yes, honorable member.
Yeah. Can I advise you to speak to the honorable member, the deputy minister, to withdraw her withdrawal because there is no member of a member here. A person must say, I did this, I apologize. She can't speak for members.
Honorable
There's
members.
no member of a member here.
Honorable members, I'm going to rule on this matter. I suggest that we proceed. I'm going to rule on this matter soon. Yeah.
So can I proceed?
Oh, Konoti Fusek.
Bani loyo manje osho kanjalo. Ay man. Ay. You can't say that, honorable members. You can't deteriorate that way. Who said that now? Honorable Mbata, take your seat. I'm going to come back on the ruling with
Deputy
this.
Speaker, I'm told it's Hateb. I have no idea who's Hateb. I'm told it's Hateb.
No, honorable members, I'm going to come with a ruling on this matter, including what you're saying.
Honorable Speaker,
Yes.
we are also as capable. So they shouldn't start.
Honorable Godi.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. As I was saying at the beginning, that the challenge that one has is the fact that the amendments presented, we haven't gone through those contents. And if one were to agree, one will be agreeing with something that one has not seen or even gone through. But I suppose that those amendments will not be substantively different from what the members have said in the long debate that we have had, with which I do not agree at all. What is very clear today is that there has been a fear to come up to the point of dealing with this report. And I think these amendments are also part of those delaying tactics. You know, Honorable Deputy Speaker, in a soccer game, if you play the man and not the ball, you get a yellow card or a red card. But what is clear is that in bourgeois politics, playing the man is not only allowed, but is actually the norm. If you were to listen to the right-wingers, you would think that the report of the public protector is actually a single paragraph. It's only a single paragraph that talks about payment for non-security upgrades without any substance in it. And I think that any amendment that seeks to reduce that report to a single paragraph will certainly be misleading, which actually is part of the central arsenal of the right-wingers. Thank you.
Next declaration, Honorable Nzimande.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I don't like doing this because it's like we're wasting time. But as Honorable Mbata was sitting down when he was talking, he then raised a middle finger towards us this side. That is completely unacceptable. I just want to raise it. I saw that.
Honorable Mbata. Honorable Mbata.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, what I did was I said to Sbongile, Honorable Kaula, I said the next thing they will do this. That was a private discussion between me and Sbongile, and an example of the hate that has been just subjugated to us. So why must I not?
Honorable member, please withdraw that.
Sbongile, I withdraw.
Next declaration. Yes, Honorable Member, NFP.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. The National Freedom Party is steadfast on its policy of zero tolerance against corruption. That is the mandate of the citizens of our country who voted us and who we represent. The NFP also resolutely maintains that the public protector and all other reports must be honored and respected. To this effect, the NFP wishes to congratulate all those that have participated in producing these reports. Based on our expressed policy guideline, the NFP reiterates that all those that unduly benefited must be held accountable and repay the monies to the fiscus. The NFP will support any attempt to bring to account any person or persons who have unduly benefited from the Nkandla upgrades and welcomes the initiative to identify which aspect of the upgrade is part of the security upgrade and which is not. Thank you.
Thanks. Next declaration.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, one of the principles in our Constitution is that everybody is equal before the law. Many of us spend years of our lives struggling for equality before the law. Today, we have a constitution that says we must be equal before the law. The president, leading a cabinet that brought before us a budget that we approved, I appeal for your protection.
Yes, honorable member. Honorable members.
Deputy Speaker, I appeal for your protection. I want to make my point.
Make your point, honorable members. Allow Honorable Lekota to speak. Speak, honorable member.
Deputy Speaker, us having succeeded in writing a constitution that enshrines equality before the law, we must now ensure that we have a government that can enforce that. Part of the duty of this House is to monitor that the executive carries out its activities loyal to that principle of equality before the law. I have detailed on behalf of our party there how much money we voted for to address the needs of our people. I have pointed out, and nobody has contested what I said there, that the millions that were diverted, that we had voted for communities were diverted to Nkandla. Nobody has contested that. On the basis of that, I appeal to the House that we must ensure, if we want to have a future in this country, we must ensure that everybody is bound by the law of this land. If that does not happen, starting with this House, there will be no parliament left. There will be no institutions that will guarantee a future for our children and generations to come. We insist, therefore, that we must collectively hold the president accountable. He must pay the money of the people. He must ensure that he is equal to all of us. I thank you.
Honorable Swart.
Chairperson, thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry that I through you, I'm sorry that I disappointed the Honorable Motshekga. But I still stand by what I said earlier. And that is, Chairperson, here is the report. And I'd ask honorable members to read the report. And if you read it carefully, you will see here on page 2946, that is why the ACDP supports the minority report, because here it says the committee holds a different view to the public protector. But there's no view to that. There's no view set out here. There's no rational reasoning to that view. And I'd plead with the ANC again to look at this report, because it doesn't contain rational reasoning that will stand up in a court of law. That's the first point. The second point, Deputy Speaker, when the ACDP was participating in the ad hoc committee, we pleaded with the ANC, please get an independent legal opinion. We see the committee report refers to an in-house legal opinion that the committee agrees with. Why didn't we get an outside legal opinion as to the binding nature of the public protector? So again, Deputy Speaker, we from the ACDP support the minority report, and we'd remind the ANC what the Honourable Malema said. He said that he was deployed by the ANC to close the Scorpions, and that you are doing the same to the public protector. And we support that view. And so we call upon and support the minority report. I thank you.
Next declaration. Yes. Honorable
Swartz, you know nothing about the ANC. And you must never refer to the ANC like you know the ANC.
Honorable Member.
Order,
Honorable
Deputy
Member,
Chairperson.
don't
Deputy
speak
Speaker,
before
we are calling for order.
Yes. What's your order, Honorable?
The order is...
Honorable members, I'm not able to say anything. You are screaming at me. I can't even say anything.
I'm calling for order.
What's your order, Honorable Member?
The order is that, could you please make a ruling as to whether it is correct for Honorable Mbalula to address the House and the Honorable Member without being recognized by you? Can it be, you
No.
make a ruling?
Honorable Gadi, take your seat. I'm ruling. Just as I have told you not to speak before you're addressed, similarly with him is the same thing. You are not, no member is allowed to speak before that. And I do want to remind you, Honorable Gadi, this is the fourth time you're doing this. Okay. Yes. Honorable members, the next declaration.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. As members
Point of order, Deputy Speaker. Sorry, Deputy Speaker. With respect, you can't chastise members of this side of the House for bad behavior. But the Honourable Mr. Mbalula needs to apologise, or you need to chastise him. You've chastised us all day. You need to be consistent.
Honorable member, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Deputy Speaker.
No, Speaker, no.
Deputy Speaker,
Don't
please.
be biased. Mbalula spoke without your consent. Please correct that.
I told him, and you are out of order, honorable members. Both of you are out of order.
Can you please be consistent?
And
Deputy
honorable
Speaker?
members, members are honorable here, whatever you think of them. I did say so, that honorable member is out of order, just as honorable Gadi is. It's wrong. It's wrong.
Chair.
Honorable member.
Chair.
Deputy Speaker.
Deputy Speaker.
What are you raising, honorable member?
Deputy Speaker, I think it is the unbecoming behavior that all the time when the members of the opposition parties are talking, you see them as the wrong people. But the members of the ruling party, when they talk, you keep quiet as if nothing is happening.
No.
So this is incorrect.
No.
The manner in which you are ruling in this house, it is clear that you have an agenda that you want to pursue, and we are not going to allow that. All of us must be treated equally. Honorable Mbalula stood up and you did not tell him to withdraw. You must tell him to withdraw, like you are doing to the other members.
Honorable members, I do advise you, for whatever it is worth, that you must allow the chair to make the rulings. Because not only is nothing gained. In the first place, I want to talk about this overall issue that we raised earlier on, including this one, that nothing is gained by using unbecoming and offensive language. I'm appealing to all members of this House, on all sides of the House, to uphold the dignity and decorum expected of representative of the people. Your actions and language today in this debate have done little to lift the tone of the debate and provide a meaningful opportunity for members to engage with the matter at hand without bad language. I'm cautioning members to desist from this abuse of the decorum of the House and the privilege of freedom of speech. You are placing the chair in an untenable position. I'm expected to rule on matters that I have not heard and have not been party to. All members are honorable as such and should behave in a manner befitting of an honorable member and call each other as such. Members should treat one another with the dignity and respect that they themselves would expect in this House. Honorable members, we now move to the next declaration. Honorable member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker. As members of the Ad hoc Committee, we acknowledge the fact that we are not security experts. That is why we recommended in our report that the Minister of Police must assign professional security experts to go and assess what is security and what is not security at Nkandla. So we are not obsessed with the president. That is why we made sound recommendations and findings in our report. The second point that I want to make, Honorable Deputy Speaker, is that the honorable opposition members, led by the EFF, because now I can see that the DA doesn't have a parliamentary leader. So they rely on the mercy of the EFF to lead them. So that is why they are leading. They walked out of the committee willingly so because they chose to ignore the truth. They chose to believe their distorted facts. So as members of the Ad hoc Committee, we went to that committee to deal with the facts, and they knew that there was nothing to pin the president on in those reports. That is why they continue to mislead the House and to mislead the public. There is nothing to pin the president on. He didn't do anything wrong. The facts are in all the reports. So, Honorable Deputy Speaker, my third point is that
on a point
as
of order,
members of this
Speaker.
House...
On a point of order, Deputy Speaker.
What's your point of order, Honorable Member?
The Honorable Member is making a declaration which has got... it's actually misleading the House that the President did not know
Honorable
anything
Member,
about what
that's
is
not a
happening
point
in
of
his House.
order.
The President knew
Honorable
that
Member.
he is unduly benefiting.
Honorable Member. Yes, Honorable Member, what are you rising on?
Honourable Chairperson, I'm rising on a point of order. The Honourable Dlakude just now said, and she referred to Honourable Members of Parliament, who are also members of the Ad hoc Committee, that they were misleading Parliament and they were misleading the public. She's deliberately saying that. It's unparliamentary, and she should withdraw that.
Proceed, Honorable Member.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, I withdraw. I withdraw the misleading. Thank you. Honorable Deputy Speaker, lastly, allow me to say that we reject the report compiled and concocted by a group of angry, obsessed members of Parliament who compiled it in some dark corners. We reject the report, we reject the amendments with the contempt it deserves. Lastly, Honorable Deputy Speaker, some honorable members that side are offering me cheap Q-Tex. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to Q-Tex. I don't use it. I thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the amendment to the motion as moved by the Chief Whip of the opposition. Are there any objections to the amendment? As there are objections, I now put the question. Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those against, no. I think the noes have it.
Deputy
Yes.
Speaker, the Democratic Alliance calls for a division.
A division having been called, the bells will be rung for 5 minutes.
Point to order, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker. The mace is still in place. We are in session. The mace is still in place. We are in session. Is this permitted parliamentary behavior?
Honorable members, you're not supposed to sing. You're not supposed to sing. You can't sing. Please don't do that. The session is on. Honorable members, the session is on. No. Honorable members, I'd like to remind members that they may only vote from the allocated seats. When requested to do so, members must simply indicate their vote by pressing the appropriate button below the yes, no, or abstain signs. If a member inadvertently presses the wrong button, the member may thereafter press the correct button. The last button pressed will be recorded as the member's vote when the voting session is closed by the chair. The question before the House is that the report of the ad hoc committee on the report by the President regarding security upgrades. This is an amendment. Oh, sorry.
Is that the amendment?
No, this is the wrong thing. You gave me. Honorable members.
Is that the amendment?
The question before the House is that the amendment to the report of the ad hoc committee on the report by the President regarding security upgrades at the private residence of the President be adopted. Are all members in the allocated seats? Voting will now commence. Those in favor of the report, press yes. Those against, press no.
Order.
Yeah. Honorable members, let me remind you, the last button pressed will be the correct vote that will be taken. Those in favor of the amendment of the report should press the yes button. Those against should press the no button. Those wishing to abstain should press the abstain button. Have all members voted? The voting is now closed. It is closed, honorable members. Okay, thank you. Honorable members, the results are as follows. The yes to the amendment being agreed to is 91. The no is 211. 7 abstains. So the amendments have been rejected by the House. Honorable members, I now put the motion as put by the Chief Whip of the majority party that the report be adopted. Are there any objections? I now put the motion. Those in favor will say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it.
Deputy Speaker, it seemed too close to call. The DA would like to call for a division. Thank you.
Honorable members, division have been called. We'll now call for a minute. The bells will be rung for a minute. Honorable members, we have to remind members that they may only vote from their allocated seats. When requested to do so, members must simply indicate their vote by pressing the appropriate button below the yes, no, or abstain signs. If a member inadvertently presses the wrong button, the member may thereafter press the correct button. The last button pressed will be recorded as the member's vote when the voting is closed by the chair. The question before the House is that the report of the ad hoc committee on the report by the President regarding security upgrades at his private residence be adopted. Are all members in the allocated seats? Voting will now commence. Those in favor of the report should press the yes button. Those against should press the no button. Those wishing to abstain should press the abstain button. Have all members voted? Thank you. The voting session is now closed. Where? Honorable members, the results are as follows. Yes, 210, no, 103. And abstain, 0. The report is therefore adopted. Honorable members, we will now break for 45 minutes for refreshments. Bells will be rung for members to come back to the chamber to resume business. Members may go to the second floor restaurant for their food, to get food there.